Hello. How is everyone doing? Oh jeez. I love stream days where the entire forum collapses spontaneously, and I have to spend hours and hours trying to figure out what the fuck is even happening. I put out what fires I can. I am making long-term plans to reduce overhead. It's all coming together. My grand designs are coming together. Received a DMCA from fuck, what's his name? Jeffree Star. Oh, wonderful. I love noisy shit happening. Okay, so if you don't know who Jeffree Star is, I I vaguely remember from Habu Hotel, a British girl showed me this song. And I wanna play it for you real quick. There we go. This is really important to the song.
Is that true? It's always. I was gonna go down there, but yeah, I heard. I just want to do
This is like a 2006. This is a 15-year-old song on
Hey,
YouTube.
boo, how are you? Oh my god, I miss you so much. How you been? Well, we should hang out sometime. MySpace me for sure.
MySpace me for sure.
Fuck, you can totally see his fucking tracks. Oh my god.
There is no video. It's a fucking song. What the fuck do you expect?
This is Chris fucking Donovan. Don't get mad, Jeffree Star, cause I made you snort a lot of my cum while I fucked you in the ass. For sure, maybe. For sure not. For sure, for sure, bomb. Hooked up at a stoplight. Two drugs on the dashboard. Look at the mess we made.
Wait for it. Yeah, screamo. I see when I play a song like Feindesland, I gotta mellow it out by having a scene kid screamo song by a gay man named Jeffree Star to balance things out. Otherwise, YouTube will flag my video for being too incredibly awesome and or based. My stream prep was a wreck today, so you're gonna have to forgive me for meandering. Let's see, where are my notes at? I actually have notes. So today, actually, I'm gonna play 3 songs for an intro today. Today is Cozy Rosie's birthday. Now, last year I sang a song. I sang "Happy Birthday" for Zanda, Ralph's other child, by another woman, and a fat man and his cokehead friend made fun of me for singing "Happy Birthday" to Zanda. However, I am not deterred. So, chat, even though actually yesterday was Cozy Rosie's birthday, today is the day after, but that's okay. Better late than never. Join with me in singing "Happy Birthday" for Cozy Rosie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You look like a monkey, and you smell like one too. Yay. Yay, chat. So actually, May, being the great mother that she is, and you know that's not a segue to a joke at all, she baked this wonderful cake for Cozy Rosie. And I gotta say, I'm really in love with it. It's really fantastic. Look at the effort put into it. Real fruit that was sliced up and skinned. You can see that the cake has texture in it. Looks like some sprinkles were added to the batter to give it that kind of confetti to it. The Kiwi logo has some effort put into it to accomplish that for a logo, the Kiwi Farms logo is actually a bit interesting. It's sort of unusual for a logo because it's asymmetrical. Asymmetrical is considered unnatural. So many logos try to be as symmetrical as possible, to the point of even like using palindromes or like font choices to make them look like reflections at certain points. Not the Kiwi Farms logo. Our shit looks completely inorganic, but it's still great. So she put in some effort to get it looking just right. And 100, I guess representing 100. Actually, it's one year and then 2 null symbols because they're circles with cross through. So it's one year, Cozy Rosie, and then a shout out to me personally. I think with the null symbols. Actually, no. This was the cake that Pantsu made while still dating Digibro, saying, "Surprise Digibro with a cake to celebrate his landmark day. Happy 100 pages of cringe on Kiwi Farms, baby. Ooh woo, ooh woo." And this was from 2020. So this is the cake that she made to celebrate 100 pages of cringe on the Kiwi Farms with Digibra, Digini. And this is the cake that she made for her daughter's first birthday yesterday. Made a baby-friendly cake for Rosie to smash, made with fruit and oat flour and frosted cream cheese and mango, ready for a big mess. And I don't know if you're only listening. This is sort of hard to explain. She has cut up a banana to decorate the cake with. The cake looks like a loaf of bread that someone smeared cream cheese on, and she's tried to give it a number 1, put a little number 1 on it so that there's no candles or anything, but to say number 1. However, May appears to have an issue with writing the number 1. Because that really looks like a cock and balls. It even bends, it curves a little bit to the left for her pleasure. It's a little bit off. There's a little bit something wrong with it, but happy birthday, Cozy Rosie, I guess. Here it is in detail. Yep, very very fascinating. Definitely not as good as the kiwi cake. So I take that. She appreciates her Digibros thread more than her daughter. I don't know how else to interpret that. The much long-awaited plant update. This is I should have. I think I said this last time I did Groove Stuff, but I fucked up. I should not have put the coconut pods in the cartons. You're supposed to use one or the other, and I used both, and that was a mistake. I also fucked up because, to give you an idea, there's 2 rows there's 2 segments of 8, and then 1 8 is cut in half, and there's 2 different plants. On the left, the top is tomato vines, beefsteak tomato. The bottom left is banana peppers, and I think my seeds are too old. They said they expired December 2022, so I thought they'd still be good, but probably not. There's a little bit of mold. I don't know how to grow them in a moist, warm environment where they'll prosper without the mold growing. So I air it out every so often. The middle is all carrots, and the right is marigolds. I'm gonna plant some flowers and hope that the aphids don't eat them. And I already had garlic. I'm planting spring garlic, and I'm planting that directly into the soil. I'm not bothering with that because that's what they said to do. So I put it right into the soil already, and it's out there. So I'm trying again, and it may not work. I don't even know if I'll be living where I'm living now in time to like harvest them. So because I'm considering moving someplace else, but I'm still gonna plant these. And if I end up moving, whatever, I learned something doing this, so it's not like a waste. Yeah, marigold. I've looked at pictures of them. They're very nice. Maybe if I grow them, I'll braid myself a little flower crown, and I'll post that as a picture so everyone can respect my gardening skills. Total aphid death. That's right. Also, indulging my autism. Flags. The state of Utah has adopted a new flag, and I think I even predicted in my last stream. I don't know if I said this on stream, but it was Mississippi actually changed their flag relatively recently. And I want to show you what this looks like. So this I'll talk about this flag in a second, but I want to show you this was Mississippi's old flag, and of course people got upset because it has the Confederate squared flag. So they replaced it with this, which actually, I really got to say, I really like this flag. I don't usually like complex symbols or text on a flag, but this one does it. Oh, I have a filter, a chroma key on. My bad. I had to turn that off. This flag looks really nice. I like how the text, even though the text is there, it sort of integrates into the star circle, that it looks actually really good. So this one I would consider like, a B or an A level flag. This one is so corporate logo-y that I don't like it. I like it better than their old flag, which is a fucking one of those goddamn blue bedsheet ones that just has a stupid ass seal on it. But yeah, it just kind of looks like the Netherlands flag, but fucked up a little bit. So the honeycomb. Yeah, it's like a honeycomb. Like I understand what they're doing. I'm just saying that it's like it's too corporate logo-y. However, I don't know if I said this on the forum or if I said this on stream, but I think that a lot of states are going to start revamping their flags because it's like a thing. Like, you know, you see like the Swiss flag on a product and you're like, ooh, the Swiss flag, this must be a great flag. People making honey in Utah should be able to slap the Utah flag on their honey, and people like, Utah, that's where all the honey's made. This is going to be good honey. Or like you see the Italian flag on olive oil and you're like, authentic Italian olive oil. There's like brand recognition to an entire country that's owed to flags. So the fact that the United States doesn't take advantage of that at all, and there's almost no brand recognition with like state levels, flags on products, it's like, that's bizarre. If the Idaho had a really distinct flag and they're so proud of their fucking potatoes, you go into a Walmart and you see like a regular burlap sack of potatoes and you see one that's like a giant burlap sack that's colored like the famous Idaho state flag. You're like, them some good ass potatoes. I'm gonna buy those potatoes because they got the Idaho flag branding on it. That's how the human brain works. So I would not be surprised if all the states with shitty ass flags would start changing them recently. In the near future. Okay, that's enough flag stuff. Let's talk about. Yeah, let's do it this way. So there's a bit of a banking crisis going on right now. After the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed in the U.S. and the USDIC, the insurance company, took over its assets and liabilities immediately. To sort of, because it's called contagion, and it's like, speaking of pandemics, it's like they call it contagion because it's a fear. If people stop, it's a weird thing how the economy is entirely like a shared hallucination of mankind. A dollar only has value because people believe it has value. It's literally the Tinkerbell effect, where people think that something has a value, so therefore it has a value. So if people suddenly stop thinking that it has value, then it doesn't have value. And if people take their money from the banks, then the banks collapse. And if the banks collapse, then people get freaked out that the economy's collapsing, so they start hoarding cash in their mattress like a schizophrenic, and then that causes more economic collapse because there's no money velocities. People spend money. So it's really important when a bank collapses that there is like putting out fires so that people don't get that contagion of, oh my God, my shit is completely fucked. So the FDIC took over that bank immediately. Credit Suisse, was insolvent, and they gave it like 275 billion Swiss francs, and they spent it all in a week. And then they sold the Federal Swiss Council, which is like they don't have a head of state. I like their system. They have 7 people who represent like the 7 heads of departments, and people vote for those 7 representatives it would be like if instead of a president, we had to vote directly for like the Department of Interior, the Department of Finance, the Department of the Treasury, like the head of the Department of State, and we just voted for 7 heads of departments, and then that would be the leader of the country. It's kind of an interesting system. So the Swiss Council convened an emergency meeting where they decided what the fuck they're going to do, because Swiss is a banking nation. Their banking industry is massive, and they already lost. What happened is that a bunch of Saudis pulled out all their money, from what I understand, from Credit Suisse. So then they had all these. They lost a ton, and supposedly the Saudis pulled out because Switzerland took unusual political stances against Russia and sanctioning them, and so the Saudis got scared that the Swiss were too U.S. aligned or something, so they took out all their cash. That's just what I heard. I don't know if that's correct at all, but that's what I had inferred from reading some comments and articles about this. So the Swiss Federal Council passed emergency legislation to allow a bigger Swiss bank to acquire Credit Suisse. And they emphasized repeatedly that this is not a bailout. They have not done it there, even though they've given them hundreds of billions of dollars. This is not a bailout. This is a commercial solution. That's the word they use. So don't worry. This is just a typical market thing. There's nothing to be alarmed about. Keep your money in the bank. Trust the Swiss. That's your first mistake, by the way. Everything's okay. And then this is our Wall Street Silver. This is a terrible subreddit. Never go to Wall Street Silver. There's evil and bad. Don't post here. It's shit. They found this video and it made me laugh out loud. So this is the, I have the title written down. This is the Director and Head of Investment Banking Technology, Strategic Programs at Credit Suisse. This is Mix Pips Bunts, here to talk about how their life experience has led to them being where they're at the very tippy top of Credit Suisse.
I think as an LGBTQI leader, I think some of the things that's really helped me on my own journey is, A, being really proud of who I am, really owning my authenticity, because I think people relate and can relate to you so much better when they know you're being totally genuine, sincere, and honest. I think also, having had certain amounts of adversity on your own journey, I think that inbuilds into you a fair amount of sort of extra resilience, which then really helps empower your own sort of leadership skills.
I know what you're thinking. How did a British person get into Credit Suisse? The answer to this is apparently given in that logo in the top left. Sorry, I can't turn it up. That's as high as it goes. The top left says McKinsey and Company. And trust me, nothing they said was of value anyways. McKinsey and Company is apparently like the mega woke British company, and they're responsible for inserting these types of British people into companies all throughout the world as part of their investment programs. So I know that the World Economic Forum is the boogeyman that everyone likes to make fun of. However, I was informed that McKinsey and Company is another one to keep your eyes out for as being the mark of the beast that inserts. I love how this guy has 1, 2, 3 obvious, separated, and distinct chins. This motherfucker is a caterpillar. I don't care what gender it is. Take the clothes off. I need to inspect to see if you are a segmented caterpillar that has snuck into human clothes and is now operating a bank. Because that is not good for humankind if we're letting caterpillars operate these things. So these bank situation type deals seem to be scaring people. And as a result, Bitcoin is up something like 50%. I want to say it's at like $28,000 right now, and it's been hovering around 20 to 20, it's between like 18 and 22 for over a year now. So it's way up. And when Bitcoin's up, you know what that means. Bitcoin scams are back on the table, boys. The SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, which has, I don't think that's ever been legislated this way, but I believe that cryptocurrency is classed as an exchange in almost all circumstances. There are some cryptocurrencies that are so centralized as a security, I think. But there are some that are so centralized they don't classify as a security; they become something else. So the SEC is in charge of regulating this stuff, and Justin Sun, who is the founder of Tron, a very popular shitcoin that Biz loves to promote. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I basically cut out 4chan out of my diet. I don't go anywhere on 4chan anymore. I used to read like a couple boards, but it's so fucking bad now that I've fully committed to just not reading it anymore and just be more active on my own forum. I would if you're out there and you're listening and you're a huge person into like silver or alternative currency, I would love to see like more of the real precious metals people from 4chan come over to the Kiwi farms and post in the finance board, because I love Biz, but it's just so fucking bad now. There's not even any point. But he owns BitTorrent, which of course is complete shit now and full of advertisements, which is why everyone in case you're wondering, the in vogue torrenting software for Windows is BitTorrent. But he's the owner of that company, and he's also the owner of DLive. And this is one of the another article that I've pulled from Torrent Freak. I don't know what it is about Torrent Freak. They're like one of the better publishing companies out there right now. But he has been charged, I think, with fraud. The SEC for unregistered sale of TRX and BTT securities and market manipulation. and as well as he owns outright uTorrent. uTorrent is now owned. It used to be owned by BitTorrent Inc., but now it's called Rainberry Inc. And they were also Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul did things for Tron, I think, and they've paid a fine for. And they didn't even tell people that they were associated with Tron, so they had to pay a fine for marketing deceptively. And apparently, some Korean called Neo and a porn actress. And I think there's somebody else who is fighting it. The guy, the trick guy, Soldier Boy. He also did some shit with this guy, and he's not taking a plea deal with the SEC, so he's refusing to pay his fine. He's fighting it. Holy shit! Now that I've activated my own trap card by talking about by Soulja Boy. I didn't have this in my notes. We're going to take an emergency detour. Assuming that my site's working well enough for me to execute such an emergency detour. It does not appear to be doing so, though. Why is it not working? Okay, fuck it. I'll move on, and then I'll get back into it in a second. So that's the update. Again, this guy was... I only brought this up because DLive was involved, and I found that funny. So this is in the vein of cryptocurrency scams. I'm sure absolutely everyone has heard about this by now. But Linus Tech Tips, a enormous YouTube channel run by a man who believes that his HAPA child is ending racism, has been hacked. And he announced that the way it was hacked was by a session cookie theft. Very similar to how Chud Buds was hacked, actually. One of their guys in sales and marketing opened a PDF file, and it included arbitrary execution that allowed the browser data to be downloaded, very close to how the Minecraft mod downloaded browser data, the password vault and cookies and session tokens and stuff. And by using this session token, they were able to access their YouTube channels and rebrand. Apparently YouTube allows 15 million subscriber YouTube channels, verified YouTube channels, to rebrand to Tesla. And then they put up these pre-recorded live streams of Elon Musk talking about cryptocurrency, and the sole purpose of doing this was to get SEO so that they could advertise the scam website, which promised people money doubling, literal RuneScape tier money doubling. Generous Elon Musk is giving away every Satoshi you give him, he gives you back too. Very generous of him. And despite the complexity of this and the reach that 15 million subscriber channel was able to give these scammers, the totality of what they received as a result of this scam was $6,000. $6,000, and it almost like YouTube was able to restore everything, but like it was at the expense of all this shit that Linus had built up, and they only got $6,000 for it. Isn't that crazy? The farms is no, it's just really slow right now. I don't know what the issue is. I'll have to look into it. And like even if it was completely down right now, I don't care. I'm not gonna like pause the live stream to deal with it. I know what the issue is. It's just the remote server where files are stored is under maintenance right now because of a vulnerability that was discovered and is being patched. So the site is slowing down at times as a result. That's okay. Someone asked me, since I was going to talk about Linus anyways, they begged me to cover this. This is a melanated Canadian named Tumad, who apparently is like autistic as fuck and screams and makes meme videos. He asked Linus to build him a new computer. And Linus was explaining that he had built this new computer for him, and he's like, this graphics card is like almost top of the line. What's your graphics card? And then Tumad reveals to him that he has a perfectly good computer, but he just didn't tell Linus. And this is the fallout of that.
In all seriousness, though, this, whatever it may look like, is a freaking sick machine. Like, what are you using right now?
I got 2080 Ti i9. At home.
Shut up. Do you really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
But it's like beepity boopity. It doesn't work.
You have got to be kidding me.
I have it, but it don't worky. This is better because it worky. Mine don't worky.
I can literally vouch. I've seen his build.
It's
God.
yeah.
Why are we building a computer for someone who already has a top-of-the-line computer?
And it's just funny here anyways.
Oh my God. Did you know about this?
I did not know about this.
It be broke.
Oh my God.
Too Mad Part 2?
No, there's no part 2. Oh my God. What do you mean it runs and works?
But like weirdly, I play Fortnite and it's like I'm like gaming. It's fine, and then 2 seconds later it freezes.
Probably just overheating or something.
It's not heating. It's not hot. It's hot. It's cool.
Perspiration ping.
Okay, how did you measure its coolness?
My hand. I just put my hand on it and I just check. I rate it like a medium cold, medium hot, medium warm. Beautiful.
Okay.
Looks like a BTS concert, all the lights and shit.
Yeah. Not much glue.
I'll pause it there if you want to watch the rest. I just liked his reaction to it. People are screaming, why are they wearing masks? It is on the screen. If you look down, you will see this was 2 years ago, October 2022 or 2020. That means it's the middle of the lockdown. That means if he filmed without wearing a mask, he would be fined. This is not recent. This is just something in the past that someone wanted me to show you. This is what I want to show people. That what's his face? Soldier Boy reminded me of.
Yo, what the fuck, nigga, that's how they supposed to treat you. Bitch ass. Mickey Mouse ass, clown ass nigga. Do something. Go ahead. Take a picture. Go ahead. Take a picture. I want to be famous now, nigga. I want to be famous, fuck, nigga.
That is 6ix9ine, famous rapper / snitch, being beaten on the floor of a bathroom in South Florida in a YMCA, I think. If I think that he was on the hook bad for like soliciting sex from a minor, like a bunch of like sex charges and maybe drug related charges, and then he got like no time at all, or like either no time or like a very small sentence. So now he's like a known snitch and everyone hates him, which is pretty funny. It's really hard to like. Can you imagine trying to put this guy into witness protection program? Have you? I don't think. Just in case you've never seen a picture of 6ix9ine, let me pull up what he looks like. So I want you to imagine you work for the Secret Service. You are in charge of this man's life. You have to find a way to prevent him from dying. Where do you even start? What could give away his identity? How about the giant tattoo over his eye that says 6ix9ine? Like, how many, like, look at this. Where do you even start trying to save this man from the consequences of his own actions? There's no way. There's no way to help him. He's just screwed. So that's his life. Oh, I didn't even realize he has another 6ix9ine down like one of his neck. Yeah. You know, there's like a really popular parody song of his I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It's some trash, but there's like a Janny version of it. Can I find this real quick? Janny iffy. That's how it goes. Oh yeah, here
Janny's iffy, ain't on got the stiffy,
Here, I'll put it on the screen. Here's the Janny version.
Janny's iffy, ain't on got the stiffy, got picky, credit hold 250,
Can you put some else over here real quick?
I like this song more than the original. The original is extremely melanated. So I was debating whether or not how to link this into the rest, but I now I've completely lost my flow. So I will now proceed to read this entire post because it's a post on Reddit and therefore it is extremely brief in nature and can be read in one sitting. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. I will sum up this entire post in 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I will sum up this 4,000 long post in a single second. Kubernetes replaced master slave with leader follower or some other gay technology or gay terminology, and as a result, it broke everything. So if you don't know, when the Hwat man invented the command line in the good old days of computers before the graphical user interface was created so that melanated people could also use computers and play Fortnite. We came up with some very quick, easy terms to use in computer programming that explained programming concepts very easily and efficiently. For instance, in a situation where in a replication where you have one main computer but several computers that simply replicate data to be read from, you have a master slave. That is the big one that everyone freaks out about, but also people freak out about this. This terminology predates computers, but for whatever reason, people freak out about it. If you have a list of things that are permitted, for instance, IP addresses, it's called a whitelist. So if you have a whitelist, that means that only things that are on the whitelist can get in. If you have a blacklist, that means that everything can get in except the things on the blacklist. Like, for instance, if you're banning IP addresses. Wow. So you're saying that white is positive, but black is negative? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a racism. That's a colonialism. That's an imperialisms. You got some atoning to do, white man, for all your sinful terminology. So they have committed to replacing master slave with leader follower. They have replaced the master branch on Git with the main branch on Git. And they have replaced the terminology for white and blacklisting to allow and deny listing. So you're no longer whitelisted, you're allow listed. You're no longer blacklisted, you are deny listed. This is their genius thing. So when Kubernetes randomly decides that they're changing the terminology of their systems from master slave to whatever the fuck it is now, I guess leader follower. Surprise, the production applications which are using this technology suddenly break. And that is what happened, and it took Reddit off. God bless it, for 8 years. And what's really funny is that if you search like woke, so what you're saying is that Kubernetes going woke is what broke Reddit? Sarcasm. Like, people acknowledge that this is what it was, the issue that it was, and then they just say, just kidding. So the outage was caused by wokeism. Kidding. There was more. I think you have to like scroll to like load comments now, because that's how every fucking website on the planet works. So that was entertaining to me. That these easily avoided mistakes were introduced into computer programs because people don't want to offend. They don't want to offend black people who don't fucking program. I have been around in the industry, quote unquote, for like, I want to say for over 10 years now, because I've been programming since I was 18 in a professional capacity. I have never met a black programmer anywhere. I cannot name off the top of my head a single black programmer. I've met Indians, I've met Russians, I've met lots and lots of Asians, lots of people from South America, Hispanics that program. I literally cannot think of a single black programmer who, and if you think about like what kind of a black person would be programming, they're not going to be the type who are going to see, wait, so you mean that you're using black in a negative context? Oh no. Oh, you're using slave? This computer is a slave? You trying to put me back in chains, honky, with your Confederate lingo? Like, come the fuck on. It just doesn't happen. They're not that. Look, I'm just saying. I don't know a single one. That's just an anecdote. I know lots and lots of troons though. I don't know what's up with that. If you're from Australia and you program, there's like a 50-50 chance that you've cut off your penis or take bathtub estrogen. So I don't know. That's all that is. Kind of related to Reddit. Justin Roiland. So co-creator Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fame was accused not that long ago of essay. The dreaded essay during a time of mass cancellation of tons of people in Hollywood getting accused of sexual misconduct. Justin Roiland was accused of doing the naughty to a woman, and thus not only was he removed by Adult Swim, and I think they even canceled Rick and Morty over this, but all of his co-workers came out, all the people that he had worked with to create this, sensational cartoon that I've never seen, but a lot of people on Reddit love, came out and said that he was a huge fucking asshole. He was stuck up his own ass. He didn't do any work. He was just a piece of shit. And now, several months later, he has been cleared. He was found innocent. They believe that the woman, I think she was his ex, and she just made it the fuck up, and it ruined his life. And he put out a statement saying, I have always known that these claims were false, and I have never had any doubt that this day would come. I'm thankful that this case has been dismissed. But at the same time, I'm deeply shaken by the horrible lies that were reported about me during this process. Most of all, I'm disappointed that so many people were so quick to judge without knowing the facts, based solely on the word of an embittered ex trying to bypass due process and have me quote-unquote canceled. That it may have succeeded, even partially, is shameful. However, now that the legal case has ended, I'm determined to move forward and focus on my creative projects and restoring my good name. So, here's my question, chat. Will Justin Roiland turn anti-woke and learn something, or stay retarded and LA-brained? Learn something. LA-brained cannot be cured. Okay, let's see what the chat thinks. Now is your time. Put in your votes. I live in a prison. A CIA neighbor runs my prison. Every day, he pokes me with a stick. Yeah, I get so nauseous just thinking about how much I hate this fucking error. It just happens randomly. All three screens go black. It looks like the thing is still running. I can hear sounds for a little bit, and then it just stops, and I just have to hard reboot it. There's no error. There's no crash logs. There's no information whatsoever, and I don't even know what to do about it. Like, how can I report something that happens once every week? And it always happens during my streams, of course, though that's not indicative of it. Like, it doesn't happen when I'm using the GPU too intensively. It doesn't happen if I'm doing something too CPU intensive. I'll be rendering a video on one screen, and then I'll be watching a movie on another screen, and then I'll be compiling and coding using up all of my CPUs on another screen, and it works just fine. I do this all the time, and then I do a stream, basic bitch shit, or I'm just sitting there and I'm watching something on YouTube, and then it goes off. So it has nothing to do with the temperature. It has nothing to do with the GPU or CPU usage. It just randomly shits itself all the fucking time. It's so infuriating. How do I take it into a repair shop and say, my computer has fucking Down syndrome, and it trooned out. It's a fucking tranny computer, and it just randomly decides to kill itself. Like, that's the only explanation that I have for it. God. And I was getting it several times a day every so often, and I discovered that when I closed Docker, when I didn't run Docker to compartmentalize my development projects, it didn't do it anymore. Docker, fucking Docker, something that everybody in India runs on their computer, and it breaks on mine. It just shuts up. But then, I stopped running Docker, and it was fine. for all week, over a week. It didn't do it. Like, I turned it off middle of last week. It didn't crash at all on Friday. Didn't crash over the weekend. Didn't crash any single fucking day until today, midstream. Then it fucking crashed. It's so irritating. It's a brand new computer. It should not have any issues. And I ruled out that it was a thing with the electrical because I have a backup power supply unit that doesn't kick on. It doesn't even get close to its power supply limit. Could be memory chips or motherboard. I don't know. I guess I'll go in and I'll take it apart. I'll take apart every power connection. I'll plug it back in. I'll take out the memory and I'll plug it back in. I'll take out air duster and fan everything and plug it all back in. I'll take a whole fucking day of my time to reassemble a computer that should be working. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it when shit doesn't work more than you can possibly imagine. I literally get angrier when something breaks on its own versus when someone's trying to DDoS my site. When I have like an active problem that I can diagnose and work towards, I am less angry than when something just doesn't work when it should work. It's extremely hard to explain. It makes you are a fucking machine. You are silicon. I can destroy you. I made you. I bought you. I put you together. I can break you down again. You have no right to tell me what I can and cannot fucking do on my screen, you piece of shit. Jesus. Okay. Justin Roiland. LA brain rot cannot be cured. 2,500 votes. Thank you, chat. So also making people mad in the news today is Donald J. Trump. I thought I would never have to hear about Trump for the rest of my natural life. Unfortunately, Trump denies me this piece. He has come out of nowhere on his platform, Truth Social, and I do not know why this is not working. I'm assuming that... Okay, it works just fine, whatever. Donald J. Trump on Truth.social announces, our nation is now third world and dying. The American dream is dead. The radical left anarchists have stolen our presidential election and with it the heart of our country, of our country. American patriots are being arrested and held in captivity like animals. Whose fault is that? While criminals and leftist thugs are allowed to roam the streets, killing and burning with no retribution. Millions are flooding through our open borders, many from prisons and mental institutions. Crime and inflation are destroying our very way of life. Part 2. Now, illegal leaks from a corrupt and highly political Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which has allowed new records to be set in violent crime and whose leader is funded by George Soros, indicate with no crime being able to be proven, and based on an old and fully debunked by numerous other prosecutors fairy tale, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of this week. Protest, take our nation back. So he calls upon all patriots everywhere to protest that Donald J. Trump will be arrested. I believe the charge... It's an interesting case because the charge is bullshit. If you really, from what I understand, he's being charged with not. Basically, his attorney gave Stormy Daniels, a whore, hush money to not go to the press about her affair with Trump or some bullshit like that. And the actual charge, from what I read, is that he wrote that off as a legal expense, but he used campaign finance money. And the Manhattan District Attorney is arguing that he should have written that off as a campaign expense and not an attorney's fee. It's not a legal expense, it's a campaign expense. I believe that is literally what they're saying to try and arrest him with. It's it seems like pointless bureaucratic nonsense at the base. So it does seem like bullshit, but at the same time, it's a misdemeanor. Okay, well, that just makes it all the more protest and take back our streets so our the former president doesn't get a misdemeanor charge. Like, okay, who gives a shit? How about no? How about the last time people protested for you? You let them all rot in a cage like an animal while you had 2 full weeks to pardon them. It actually boggles the mind to imagine there was a period of time after the protest had happened where there was 2 weeks where Trump had no political capital. He had no ability to do anything. Nobody would take him seriously because he'd be out of office soon. He had lost Pence. He had lost the Congress. He had lost the Senate. Everyone was calling him a traitor at this point, except for like Matt Gaetz. And the Republicans were talking about how they shit their depends in fear of the mob. Mike Pence had his bodyguard execute a retarded woman point blank. And they're just like, he had no allies. But he could still unilaterally, without approval from anyone, without anybody able to stop him, he could have pardoned any and all participants of that riot or protest or whatever you could have for any crimes they did or did not commit, a la the Nixon pardon. And he chose not to because he didn't give a fuck. And he knew that if he pardoned them, if he didn't let the federal government ravage those people in the justice system, they would go after him. And he's just like, fuck that. They can eat shit for all I care, because I ain't eating shit for them. And now he's like, please elect me again. Ooh, please protest so I don't get a misdemeanor for campaign finance mismanagement. Ooh, but he still has not been arrested. It's unclear if he will be arrested. However, this fantasy of Donald Trump going to prison has lingered in the imagination of the people for so long now, for literally like 8 years at this point, that did not stop people from trying to depict what a rambunctious arrest of Donald Trump would look like. And with recent developments, recent advancements in machine learning, they took to computer generated imagery and asked, what would it look like if Donald J. Trump was arrested in the streets of Manhattan? And lo, it was done. This is fake. And you can kind of tell, but it's so close to looking real that you could forgive people for assuming that it is. So these images in a series cycled through Twitter very quickly, assuming that there had been some sort of physically violent arrest of Donald Trump at a mass protest. And it led to Midjourney, this is what was used to create it, banning the person who created it. And the guy who created it even said, I'm playing around in Midjourney, and this is what it thinks a Donald Trump arrest would look like. So even though he disclosed that it was fake, he still got in trouble for it, and all these platforms banned him. So I have a prediction. I've thought about this, and I believe that this is likely to happen. To the point where I think that if a news agency started doing this, it would catch on really, really quickly. It would probably be if you're listening and you're like in Silicon Valley and you're a tech startup company and you're looking for angel investing, I will give you this idea. But if you make it, you gotta chip me in some Bitcoin once you're sitting in your ivory tower and you finance this bullshit. Make a system. Here's my mock-up. This is a real picture. This is not a CGI generated Xi Jinping or Putin. They just met recently to talk about buying weapons or minerals or some shit. I don't know. Now I've added at the bottom left the Real News Kiwi Farm sticker with a QR code and the Kiwi Farms logo. I think that what's going to happen is that Reuters and other news agencies are going to use some kind of system where they're going to watermark their images with a source. So you just scan the QR code and you'll get a page that lists like who the photographer was, where it was taken, when, and how they know it's real. And that'll be how they and to be honest, that would actually give some credibility and value to their service as a news agency. So I think that this is a system that would be interesting, and I bet you that they're going to do something like this. They're going to start doing shit like this because it's already happening. And then, you know, it'll be interesting because on one hand it does lend credibility to, like, you know, news agencies that are sorely hurting for any kind of credibility. But it's going to also diminish guerrilla journalism. Like, if someone, like, let's say, for instance, that someone on the border in the conflict zone of the Ukraine-Russia war captures footage of white phosphorus being dumped, and I will purposefully omit which side may be doing this. I'm not even implying which side may be doing this. I'm just using it as an example. There's an airstrike and there's white phosphorus, and this gets posted to social media, and then everyone's like, wait a second, where's the certified sticker at? And then this is fake news. There's no certified sticker on the images. I think that's coming. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, Spec Ops the line. That's what basically. So yeah, I think we're going to start seeing the real news sticker. And on one hand, it's like it adds, you know, information to an image, so you can always pull up the source and see, like, who made it and what the context is of the image. Like, the image won't just be like the photographer, it'll be like a link to articles that it's used in and stuff, so you can gather context for why this image was taken. But the counterbalance to that will be that images that are real, that are taken, will be more, you know, less valuable to people. They'll be inherently more skeptical, like, oh, that's not like a verified sticker image. I don't trust that. People will literally doubt their own eyes looking at images because they don't see that it has that appeal to authority stamp on it. But I really feel it strongly that there will be some kind of, like, built-in watermarking like this. And again, if you're a Silicon Valley startup and you want to make $100 million selling nothing, selling some vaporware, that would be, this is a really, I'm not even joking. I'm telling you right now, if you use this idea, you owe me fucking money. You know, I can't force you to, but you got to kick me back something in Monero down the road, my boy. I'm sending out my goodwill. Pitch this to angel investors. They'll fund you. Some kind of unified system to watermark photographer images from Reuters and AP. Kind of related. Well, actually not related at all, actually. Shane Noakes, a guy named Patty Lomenston, sends a message to Stealthy Geek, and I think that he's blocked by Patrick Tomlinson, so he can't reply to this image. That is true. I'll just give full context here. Chi asked, I have a question. What do explicit sex scenes achieve that implied sex scenes don't? Unless an important plot point or character moment, relationship moment is taking place during the scene, does it actually need to be explicit? Patrick S. Tomlinson, not to be deprived of his on-screen sex, says, swap sex to fight and see what happens. This provokes Opie and Anthony troll Patty Lomenston to reply saying, sounds like you suck at both, baby dick, so much that you don't know the difference. Don't throw your back out clipping your nails again, tough guy. Now this troll comment activates the almonds, jogs the nog of a man on the internet named Shane Noakes. He says, you have made my radar. Welcome to your nightmare. Now, Patty, O&A troll, sees this message and he thinks to himself, what the fuck is that? And replies, who the fuck are you? Another mentally deficient fat ass with a compulsive need to correct the record. Sorry, baby girl, I've got my hands full of Patty, and there are only so many shits one can take in a day. Shane Noak replies saying, don't worry, you folks have given me a huge trove of data via the DB on PFG forums. Backed it up and sent it to law enforcement already. So much for them to dig into there. Oops. Now this message really gets some interest going. And as it turns out, Shane Noakes is a fat, gimpy retard who pretends to be an internet hacker. He is a furry, a brony, and he has announced that he was molested as a child by a female babysitter who shoved a butter knife up his ass. So now he is getting sent butter knife pictures, more than one person can ever stand to look at, to try and trigger him and his child trauma. So just a little, some cute little things that I saw that made me laugh. This is the brony picture. You can see that this is his brony Sona, I suppose. Artist, student, film and animation on DeviantArt. This is probably an old one. Someone asks, is the nightmare part where we suffocate to death because we are laughing at your profile so hard we can't breathe? Shane Noakes replies saying, no, it's where I make sure you spend years behind bars and get the full prison experience. You really did fuck with the wrong person this time. So this is also... now, he's really presenting himself as a tough guy, super hacker, and this is a Facebook post that they found digging through his data, saying, hello everyone, I just got the word that all my paperwork for housing has been accepted to transfer and my lease here ends November 30th. That means it's time to start the next part of the moving process. Being on disability means I get very limited fixed income, most of which goes straight out to normal bills like rent, power, lowercase I, internet, phone, etc. I'm not allowed to save even 2 months worth of disability at a time to prepare for things like a move. Even being on disability and housing, I still have to pay out of pocket for applications, security deposits, storage units, and potentially short-term camping supplies in case an apartment isn't immediately available. So I'm asking friends and family to share this as widely as possible to everyone you think would be willing to help me save up as much as I safely can within the limits set on this. So he denies this. He says that's not him. He says that the hacker child troll stalkers who have really fucked up this time and are now going through their own nightmare have misidentified him as another Shane Noakes. The issue is that as a fat, gay, pansexual, they, them, furry brony, we have a really strong piece of information that indicates he does, in fact, live at this house. He says, seeing them try to dox with who X's me and getting it all wrong is hilarious. However, if you don't know, at his house that they have identified, there is a sign in the front of his house. Now, the sign doesn't say Dead Neighbor Storage, nor does it say Shane Noakes lives here. Yes, that one. It says this. In this house, we believe love is love, Black Lives Matter, science is real, feminism is for everyone, no human is illegal, kindness is everything. And I think his actually says something about vaccines working. This is not... There are many variations of this sign for cringe lords to stick in front of their lawns to indicate that they have no original thoughts whatsoever. So, people are pretty convinced that the Shane Noakes nightmare bringer child does in fact live here, which is possible. So the Open Anthony people are intending to destroy this man's life, and it should be pretty funny. Frederick Brennan, who I have, of course, met in real life, the founder of 8chan and one of the maintainers of ViChan, to kind of give you an explanation of the sordid history of image board software. There were a lot of people who tried to spin up image boards to compete with 4chan in the 2000s. 7chan is still around. I think that theirs is completely proprietary. They've never released the source code to their image board. One that was made public was called Tinyboard, and then Tinyboard got abandoned and turned into ViChan by a Polish guy named Chax, I think is how you pronounce that. And then Chax is, I think he's like a druggie, so he's kind of hard to get a hold of. And then when Frederick forked it for 8chan, he made it into InfinityChan. And basically what he did is he just created the system for user-created boards. So that was also a fork of ViChan. And to this day, Frederick is the maintainer for ViChan. But he doesn't want to be involved in the project anymore. and hasn't been merging in security issues. The guys that run Sharty, and I don't think I've ever talked about Soyjack Party on my stream before. If you don't know, there is an up-and-coming contender to second image board on the internet. It's called Soyjack Party. It's run by a Russian guy who also owned a video site that hosted a lot of monkey torture stuff, but he's cracked down on that. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Sorry if I'm wrong. Frederick basically calls him Russian Jim Watkins. And a lot of people are fond of this shit posting site. It's too young for me. I've tried to read it. I really don't understand what's going on there. It's like nonsense. I've read through posts on it, and every time there's any post, not only do half of the posts not make any sense, there's always one person who copy pastes the entire page into the reply box and submits it. So navigating the thread is literally impossible. And the posts that are there are written in some sort of like coded sequence, like Enigma encryption. And I literally have no idea what's happening at any time. So it's like Zoomer 4chan, I guess. I really don't know how else to describe it. Run by a Russian guy. And they call it's Soyjack.party, so they call it the Sharty for short. And Frederick asks that he is looking for a maintainer for Vichan. Sharty just so happens to use a fork of Vichan. Cuz maintains that they've tried to contact him in regards to patching serious vulnerabilities in Vichan and have been unsuccessfully met with any response or fix in the code. So he's already been patching it himself. And so Frederick Brennan has relinquished maintainership to Cuz, making, as far as I'm concerned, Soyjack Party the true heir to 8chan at this point in time, because now that Cuz is actually maintaining the code for the image board software, and I think Soyjack Party is probably the second largest image board that's still active out there besides 4chan. And it was pretty weird to see, because he explicitly said that he wasn't going to give maintainership to Cuz, and then he relented and said, okay, sure, whatever. So now Cuz is the maintainer. He says here, Justin, I don't know if this is him or somebody else, but Justin Frederick Brennan, aka Copy Paste, the primary maintainer of Vichan for many years, has decided that he no longer wants to maintain the site and has announced its end of life. However, 4chan user Base Gen2 reached out to Copy Paste, offering to become its maintainer instead and preventing it from dying. Copy Paste accepted. Shortly thereafter, Angelino proposed that Cuz should become maintainer, which after some deliberations, Base Gen2 accepted. Cuz commented multiple times saying that he was very happy with the outcome. Oh, so they tricked. This is like Chantal's cat. Chantal didn't want to give her cat away to French Fry Girl, so somebody else offered and then just immediately gave the cat over to French Fry Girl anyways. Copy Paste didn't want to give it to Cuz, and then Base Gen2 reached out, got it for him, and then gave it to Cuz anyways. So the quote, Vichan is being taken over by new maintainers, and those maintainers are me, Angelino, and Cuz, the owner of Soyjack Party / KolimaNet. And KolimaNet is Cuz's broader network of websites that he operates. More details are to follow, but this is a resolution of the issue. In addition, the bulk of the new code will be written by Kolima, Base Gen2 says. So there you go. Sharty has won the Game of Thrones of the most autistic, long-running game on the internet of trying to prop up the alternative to 4chan. I wish him well. Now, it's time to make fun of trannies, and we're going to start with Pete's. What post was this supposed to take me to, I wonder? Is this not on this page? There we go. So this is Pete's Plenty of Fish profile. Pete says that he's 38, from Cornwall, Ontario, 5'8". Let's watch Ghibli movies and snuggle. Conversation starters, haha, one or two things, that's cute. So I guess Pete said, like the prompt said, name one or two conversation starters on your profile. and then he wrote that as a reply to like the placeholder text, apparently not realizing that it doesn't make any sense out of context. He says that his job is literally listed as YouTuber. What's a bigger red flag, that he's a YouTuber or that he says that he wants to be a woman? I think being a YouTuber is a bigger red flag, to be honest with you. Being in my position might scare women off more than being a troon at this point. He says he's curvy. I went to work in a library and also be a woman. I'm planning on transitioning to be a woman. I'm just not comfortable identifying as one yet. I love Star Trek and Studio Ghibli and Justice. Interest, comics, Star Trek, Studio Ghibli. So that's like his third reference to Studio Ghibli in his profile. Books, sleeping, cats, your mom in his bio for real, and Sailor Moon. Doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, is not religious, doesn't have kids, doesn't want children, and he's not ambitious. That is a profile tag that he's attributed to himself. He's an Aquarius, no pets, bookworm, doesn't own a car, no second language, longest relationship over 7 years. I didn't know that they were together 7 years before she cucked him with BB. Huh. Why do I have this Chantal tab open? I think that's a mistake. Chantal hasn't done anything interesting, in case you're wondering. Let me get a sip of water. I do have a nice big post by Garbage Cake on the trans being dating profiles, and I'll be digging into this. It's been a bit of a slow week, so I'm breaking out the fun stuff. I'm breaking out the trans being dating profiles. So I think that here we go. This is Ren. Oh boy, he he looks like a Niza Joma. If it wasn't for like the 5 o'clock shadow and the really manly jaw, he would look so much like iDubbbz' wife. Wow, like the body is matching too. Unbelievable. So Ryan's verified. That's a satanic delivery sandwich boy uniform, I guess. Nice teeth. My man takes care of his dentals. Look at that shit. Very nice. Lesbian trans woman, poly and partner dating separately. Bottom, ACAB BLM, no turfs or swerves. Vaxxed and boosted. Things I love. Drawing, Dungeons and Dragons. If you're wondering who's ruining your... Why? You know, this is like a common thing with these people. They list Dungeons and Dragons. Fantasy books, making playlists, roller skating, dogs, cats, plants, confidence, communication, emotional intelligence, and physical touch. Plant parent, trans pride. Queer. 6 foot tall. Not sure yet on kids. Oh, please, dude. No kids. Been tumbling down the he, him, he, they, them, she, her pipeline for the last 3 years. Finally feeling settled in my identity as a trans lesbian woman. Wants to go for coffee. Says bonus points if you kiss me first. Currently listening to oscillating between hyperfem pop and pop punk at the moment. Channeling my inner teenager while I go through puberty again. That's like some serial killer shit. Lo-fi. Huh, that's familiar. Don't we know somebody else that has prosthetic elf ears that I got a lot of shit for dunking on? Am I mistaken? I'm pretty sure that I've seen these somewhere else. But what do I know? These are so filtered. This is somebody who had like a scene crush as a kid and now wants to be the scene GF. Married, poly, pan-romantic. My personality type is INFJ. I'm very scatterbrained and kind of like nature, music, animals, shiny things, witchcraft, wine and cheese, anime, video games or viddy games, writing, cooking, and movies, kinky, plant, parent, trans, pride. Gender identity is trans woman, married, pescatarian, Gemini. Does not say anything about kids. He's a bottom, introvert, just be genuine, Gemini, Sun, Virgo, Moon, Aquarius, Rising. Don't know what the fuck that means. This is Crystal. Crystal's face does not fit in my screen in one frame because this is a really extreme close-up. Kind of looks like someone. All really fat people look the same. More of Crystal pictures. Crystal does not like his body being in photos, so he goes for extreme close-ups. 40 years old. I am a transgender woman. I started HRT about a year ago. I'm working on my voice through speech. I am out and have been living as a woman full-time for nearly a year now. So he came out exactly at the same time he started HRT. I love swimming, gaming, roleplay, Dungeons and Dragons, anime, reading and writing, and drawing. Kinky, lesbian, trans, pride. Looking for both a monogamous relationship or a polyamorous. He's looking for literally anyone who will talk to him. He eats everything. Yeah, I noticed. Divorced. Let me guess. About a year ago? Did you get divorced about a year ago? About a year ago? Oh, has kids, so he's already fucked up his family. Libra, Moon, and Sagittarius, Rising, Gemini, Switch. I like to please my partner and have room for them to reciprocate. I have been told that it's my smile for biggest attraction. Introvert. His love language is pet names, hand-holding, stroking hair, being held, cuddling, and just giving smiles. I just want to smile. I just want to cuddle and smile. And he's a sub. Zeddy Betty. Someone who also thinks that extreme close-up is the most attractive way to portray themselves in a profile picture, because they are not comfortable with their body. I would not be either if I was Zeddy Betty. Looks kind of like ADF. The beanie is really doing wonders. If you're a middle-aged man and you're not confident in yourself, just wear a beanie. She, her, they, them. She, her, they, them. Monogamous, introverted, but also a performer, not into hookups. I'm pretty vanilla. Get gray ace and pansexual. I have no idea what the hell is going on. Join me. BLM ACAB. Looking for anything. Coupled. I don't know what the fuck that means. Does not want kids. Based. Betty Zeddy. Smokes the dank kush regularly. His love languages, words of affirmation, physical touch, and quality time. Trinity. Trinity is a 70-year-old man in a wig that his ex-wife, his now dead wife, might have wore before he took it. I started my transition sort of a few months ago after returning from a ride through Queensland. Australia represent. On my Harley today, I started living as Trinity, a full-time woman. My God, this is so right, just to have so much support, most from my family, if I am indeed blessed. I desperately need a teacher and know the right girl will take me under her wing. Love and positive vibes to all you sisters, Trinity. There's a video. I mentioned that I watched True Crime. There's a video. I literally cannot make it through this video. It's by that Explore With Us channel. That What's New, Ewu Crew? In this episode, an 8-year-old girl is murdered horrifically by her stepfather. That channel. In this one, he goes, "What's up, Ewu Crew?" In this one, a woman's hiding more than the police bargained for. And the woman is actually a man. And from what I gather, that's the name of the video, by the way, if you're trying to find it. Police are shocked what this person's hiding, and it's like a troon, super spastic, owns a pig farm, and from what I gather, he fed a man to pigs. The pigs did not actually eat him all the way. Like, he was put out, he was like knocked out or given drugs, thrown into the pig pen. The pigs half ate him, and then when he realized that this guy was still alive, then he shot him. And then the police found, because a person walking past found like part of a human skeleton or like a dismembered limb out on the ground by the sidewalk. He reported it to the police, and they found that there was human remains there, like in a bucket somewhere. And while they're interrogating this troon, he shits himself. In the interrogation room, he shits himself in the chair, and the police are like, what the fuck is that? And then they see that it's shit. And I can't sit through it, not because I'm so mortified by the horrific absurdity of this interrogation, but because the what's new Ewu crew guy is like the entire time, never even points out that this freak is a troon. Just always honors the gender identity. Like he fed a man half to death to pigs, murdered him, dismembered him, boiled his body in acids in a blue bucket, and then shits himself. And we still, hey, what's new, Ewu crew? We got to make Susan Wojcicki or Neil Mohan give us money for our graphic murder rape channel. So we got to be cool with the gender identities, Ewu crew. Fuck that. Fuck that. And if you ever need evidence of the gender bent people are the most deranged, like genuinely dangerous. Like if I go back to the U.S., I'm going to be armed to the teeth, no matter what. I'm going to have a gun on me every day because I would rather die than be taken to a Site B by one of these fucking trannies. They're going to be looking for me the second that I'm back in the U.S. I will be armed. I will have backup guns. I will have a knife in my sock. I will have guns hidden in every drawer of my house. I will be ready to die. Or be killed, or kill at any given moment in the true United States of America. Trinity 66. Oh, this is their profile. I was close. 66. I guess HRT ages you a little bit faster. Lots of confidence though from my boy. I love doing coffee with girlfriends. I worried a bit about the fact I'm enjoying restoring an old truck, then I giggle. The warmer it gets, I wear flimsy boob tubes. I still cringe when I break a fingernail. I taught my magnificent daughter how to change a wheel, change her own oils, and get her hands dirty while doing that. I hate to be sitting in a car out on the road with a flat tire waiting for a man to do the wheel change. Wow, that's crazy. That's like genuine mental illness. This is like dementia on set. Christian has kids, doesn't smoke weed, and he's married. I wonder if there's an option for a widow, because he definitely stole that wig from somebody. His biggest attraction is being close and realizing I like the girl I am spending time with, and making facial contact is just so close. The anticipation is such a fun and a bit terrifying at the same time. Ask me about my transition journey. Lonely, sad, depressing, till I realize I'm getting to where I want to be. Still searching for a teacher. Bottom or switch. Try them all out for fun. Life is too short to be in a serious all the time. Good luck, Grandpa. Logan, 23. Logan is apparently taking pole dancing classes and traumatizing women. Look at that face of that chinky lady on the left. She's like, oh, fuck. I should not have glorious People's Republic of China. This guy looks a lot like that bread tuber. I am a pole dancing instructor. Holy shit. That's why their faces were so... What am I looking at? I'm always be down to paint, climb, sue, hike, workout, cuddle, or hang out in nature. But be warned, I will probably climb stuff when we go out. Little Spoon Passengers Princess. Okay. I'm not on HRT, but I will be soon. Femme, parent, queer. Lesbian, vegan. Loves animals, but no pets. My biggest attraction is someone who is passionate about what they do in life and will speak their mind. Nothing is hotter than watching someone who know what they want. I want to get away from you, and I speak my mind. Does that mean that you're attracted to me? Definitely a bottom-leaning switch. Lexi K says, I'm looking for a very dominant woman. I'm very submissive. And then that's him. That's pretty scary. He goes on by saying, my girlfriend broke up with my husband and I today. I can't sleep. I truly wish someone would actually care about us and not hurt us. Looking for someone special to join my life. I'm in a poly marriage. I'm 30 years old, not really good at talking to people, but I'm trying. I'm a very dominant person. I'm not looking for a very dominant person. I'm very submissive. I'm going to try new things. And having a really bad mental health break this week. Really need a friend right now. God, there's so many messages from this guy. I've been dealing with my mental health issues since 2009. It's been hell for me. Lost my mom in 2009. Lost my mother figure in 2013. Tried ending my life 6 different times. 6 different times. You have a 41% chance and you keep fucking it up, my boy. Come on now. Permanently damaged my body years ago to the point where I can't have kids. Yes! Yes! Praise the Lord. It was God's plan. God's plan. God's plan. My whole family dropped me because I'm transgender male to female. Been over 2 years now from my transition. I've been hurt by people who thought I cared about me. I have really bad trust issues. I have permanent trauma, clinical depression, PTSD, separation anxiety. I cry myself to sleep every night and barely sleep. But please, I need to complicate my life with a polyamorous relationship. Please join me in my adventures. Oh, he's downgraded it from looking for a dominant woman to a beautiful trans woman looking to join my life. I love cuddles, snuggles, and kisses. I'm 31 years old. My name is Waxy. I'm looking for love and happiness near Minnesota or in Minnesota, please. If love and happiness can be found outside of Minnesota, I don't fucking want it. I'm looking for a very beautiful trans woman. He says the same thing. So he reposts this every so often. I'm 2 years and I transition from male to female. Nice American flag. I'm glad that my boy is patriotic here. What a dump. Clean up your fucking house. You're trying to say, do you want to join my polycule? Do you want to live in this fucking slum with me in Minnesota? Minnesota, don't you know? Well, this is his profile. I can't wait for this. First picture, he's hiding his face with a sloth. I guess that's a good gambit. Looking at this literally makes me think like he's wearing grandma's nightgown. He stole this from her closet. That's his sexy face. Look at me. I'm looking over my glasses sexily. Hey, fellow lesbians. Here are my breasts. Tee. Here's my gunt. Tee. About me. I'm looking to meet new people and make friends. I'm a really shy in person. I really hope I can make friends on here. Please give me a chance. I'm caring, loving, and kind-hearted. I have a really bad mental health issues. I cry every night because I'm hurting. I'm still damaged, but I need reassurance every day. Wow. I'm thinking back. I'm trying to think if there was another thing that I've seen written in a bio that is more of a red flag than this. I think that this takes the cake. This is worse than anything else I've ever seen. Telling people that you are like completely fucked in the head and you need constant reassurance is like the biggest red flag you could possibly tell somebody. Polyamorous, trans woman, queer, married, 5'11", not religious. Want someday. Too fucking bad. Too fucking bad. And that's it. I think there is no. I guess he didn't clip the other half of it. Maybe he just didn't follow. Oh, there's like a hard border at the bottom of that. I guess he just didn't bother to fill it out. He has no aspirations. He doesn't have any love language. He just wants to be reassured. That's as far as the as that goes. And to kick them while they're down, the World's Athletics has banned transgender women from competing in female dominant world ranking events. This is actually a misleading title because the truth is in the next sentence, or the third one. Yeah, the third sentence. No transgender athlete who had gone through male puberty would be permitted to compete in female world ranking competitions from the 31st of March. And this is the terrible, evil monster that did this, Lord Coe. And I was actually curious how big this is. I've never heard of World Athletics. So I looked it up. They're actually a really big international organization, and they're responsible for the international coordination of the sport of athletics, which includes track and field, cross-country running, road running, race walking, mountain running, and ultra running, which I've never heard of. So it's a pretty big deal. And they have decided no troons. I guess it is fair to make the generalization that if someone has not, if you're going to exclude transgenders who have gone through male puberty, you pretty much exclude them all. Very few of them have not under, like, didn't transition after puberty. Race walk, dude. race walking. My two favorite Olympic sports. If I ever watch the Olympics, I get excited for race walking and shuffling. Is that what they call it? Or sweeping? Sweeping, not shuffling. Sweeping is the funny. Of course, as a Janny, I love seeing Olympic sweeping or curling. I call it sweeping. Curling is what I'm thinking of, not sweeping. They do sweep as the curl though, but Olympic sweeping is very funny, and race walking is also really funny because the rule is that they can to be walking, one foot must always be on the ground. They have to walk as quickly as possible with one foot always touching the ground. If 2 feet leave the ground, then it's no longer walking, it's running. And what's funny about this is that the commentators will be like, well, when they're all grouped up in a bunch there, John, you can't really tell if both feet are on the ground. There's safety in numbers, and surely some people in the middle there are running, but it's just not possible to see if they have both feet on or off the ground at any given time. Back to you, John. And they're like speculating if people are cheating, if they're breaking the spiritual guidance of the time-honored tradition of race walking. It's mind games. Why even bother? I don't know. I always found it funny. I will watch the race walking and I'll listen to the narrators give their schizo takes that the race walkers are cheating. And someone begged me to watch this. So this is the tasting test portion of King Cobra JFS eating a pizza. It's 2 minutes long, so I can't fuck up too bad. Here we go.
But let's get into this pizza, shall we? Let's see how it do. Well, here's this giant monstrosity. Your basic pizza cutter. It's not for industrial pizza cutting, but like your basic regular sized pizza cutter. Oh man, look at that. Bacon cheeseburger calzone pizza. I'm going to need both hands for this, so pardon me a second. There it is, cut into four delicious serving slices, whatever you want to call it. We can take a slice, just like that. It's pooping on me a little bit. That's alright. Oh man, let's not wait any longer. Let's just get into it. Let's take a bite. Oh my god. Holy shit, that's good. I'm not just saying that because I'm drunk and it's my own recipe. That first bite, I was like, what am I biting into? What the fuck am I biting into? This fucking layer upon layer of delicious flavor. Holy shit, that's good. Oh, I can't believe how happy. Like this makes me happy, YouTube. When I got a cooking video that comes together smooth as silk. And not only does it come together smooth as silk, but it tastes damn good. Yeah. I would definitely recommend this. Unique, different, and packed with flavor. I'm not bullshitting you.
Is there like the list of the ingredients? Oh, okay. He talks. Okay, I'll just read the sections. Sauce, sharp cheddar, Pringles, Doritos, and final layer, which is Jack's beef jerky links. And then he tastes it and he really loves it. What is the sauce?
It's going down, YouTube. Prego roasted
oh my god,
garlic Parmesan sauce.
Is this like on top of like a frozen pizza?
Bacon cheeseburger pizza. Boom. Can you handle it, YouTube? Can you fucking handle it? Cooking video.
It must be on
delicious.
top of regular pizza.
Use great value. If that's all you can afford, it don't matter. But the first thing you're going to need.
I didn't realize that Pillsbury, or I guess it's great value, not Pillsbury. I didn't realize they made pizza dough in a can.
Yeah. So to make this of unhealthy cobra pizza.
So he gets that. He puts Prego on it. Then he puts sharp cheddar. So far, I mean, not so bad. The Pringles, what flavor of Pringles? Okay, this is the real question. What flavor are the Pringles?
Who doesn't love pizza Pringles? I'm just saying.
Of course. Oh my God. How could I be so stupid? What flavor would you put on a pizza? Pizza flavor. Duh. My man's thinking a million miles ahead of me right now. And then pepperoni. Proper pepperoni from the little baggies. This is what it looks like.
Again, that's just diligently. That's enough.
Wait, what's he putting on top?
We're going to take this pizza crust and we're going to put it on top.
Doritos.
All the cheese and the meats.
No, wait.
Diligently.
What is the sprinkler?
2 slices or sheets of pizza dough.
Then the salt.
That's
What's
exactly
the shaker?
what we're looking for. That's enough seasoning.
Just seasoning.
Oh, you think we're done with that?
Oh wait, slap your mama seasoning is what that says. So it's just a brand of seasoning that he likes has the name. Then he adds Jack Link's jerky and it
is beautiful.
Is that cheese?
Pardon my French, but this is some damn good shit right here, man. We're making some. Oh man.
And he loves it. Oh fuck yeah.
I could be sitting here, you know, but I'm taking my time to savor this because it's good, YouTube.
That's crazy. He's such a gift. He's such a wholesome big chungus. Cobes is great. You know who's not a wholesome big chungus, chat? You know who's not a he made a snail and liver burrito and he farts on it multiple times. That's vile. I do not want to play that. You know who's not a wholesome big chungus? Ethan Ralph. I did not get time to, in case this segment feels disjointed and shitty, it's because I did not get time to prepare my notes for this because the site was on fire the entire time. I will try my best to remember what was being said here. So as I mentioned last Friday, Ralph had literally just walked into court as soon as my stream started after seeing Alexander for 2 hours. So I think he has seen Alexander, his son, in total for 4 hours of his entire life. I will read him regaling us in the story of his visitation with Alexander, his son. The visit with my son Alexander went amazing. We hung out and played for 2 hours, and he also watched some Bluey, which I didn't know about. Got about 6 or 7 hugs. He knows I'm his dad. I could tell he missed me. He has seen him once before. He's like, I want to say less than 2 years old now. This kid has no fucking idea who he is. I'd also like to uncharacteristically thank Faith for being kind with the logistics and offering to help me do something for my own birthday party with him in May, because I obviously can't be at the real one. Just me, him, and the supervisor he justifiably has a crush on. So also his son is super Chad and obviously likes the pretty ladies at the court. By the way, fuck you, May. The only time I got close to crying was when I talked about how I wish my mother, Sandra, not even hot outside. I could have seen him and been in his life. I stopped myself before I saw him tear up, but it's hard. When he gets older, I'll be able to tell him about her. He's getting there now. Some folks should probably be careful about what they say about her, me, my father, and anything else involving my family if it's around him. It's a big, big violation in family court. Anyway, I don't want to leave on that negative note, especially when I threw in a positive towards someone I never do. I had a great day. Thank you, son. So that's how he has this nice 2 hours with Sanda. What could possibly go wrong? So, last week I talked about the Chud Buds hack and how a couple comments from select few individuals and private messages were leaked. Among them was Mr. Vickers talking to, I think, Christorian X. And one of the things revealed in that conversation with Christorian X by the bloviating fat fucking retard Matthew Vickers in an unsecured format on a site called chudbuds.lol was his long-term strategy. You see, Faith is now dating or engaged to even the man that she met when he was 13 and he was 17, that Faith got finger banged by in Disneyland. And this story was told to Ralph, and Ralph told it to the world. But they're now engaged. They got back together. And this man is willing to raise Xanda as his own son. Now, Ralph learned through the DM leak that Mr. Vickers would like to continue. He literally said this. He said, no uncertain terms, he intends to litigate and psychologically break Ethan Ralph to the point where he stops showing up for visitation, either by financially destroying him so he can't make it, or just buck breaking him so that he's drunk when he shows up, or otherwise starts to miss or fall out of visitation. Because he would like for Faith's new fiancé to adopt Xander and to eventually have Ethan Ralph sign away his visitation rights in that adoption. So now Ethan Ralph is very, very angry about this. And he filed this declaration alleging that Matthew Vickers and the fiancé of Faith Vickers is a pedophile. This is his sworn declaration to the Nevada City County Court, California, saying, on numerous occasions, Faith Vickers told me about her age-inappropriate relationship with Isaiah Vala. In person, she told me she started talking to him when he was 13. He literally writes, when he 13 and he was 17. But he means to say it when she was 13 and he was 17. But that they started officially dating with the approval of her parents, who would take them on dates, quote unquote, including to Disneyland one time, where the sex act occurred when she was 14 and he was 18. This made me extremely uncomfortable, to say the least. It should be noted that Vala sought out a troubled girl online from the other side of California. That makes it even more predatory. My texts and her tweets are included in the original filing. This is a follow-up saying, I currently have a visitation and support agreement with Faith Vickers. It's the possessive form of it's, not it has. No, sorry, he writes, it has come to my attention that she is grooming my son to have Isaiah Vala be his stepfather. I'm very concerned with this development and have been for months. Mr. Vala began talking with Faith Vickers when she was 13 and he was 19, well outside of California law. This was supported by the parents of Faith Vickers, Matthew and Ariana. At 15, she performed a sexual act at Disney on my... Jesus fucking Christ, Ralph. Stop drinking just long enough to write your fucking court documents. At 15, he performed a sexual act at Disneyland on... That doesn't even make sense. Is he referring to a different sex act now? Did she give him a blowjob? That never came out. On Mr. Vala, while he also was also well outside California. This is this is extremely difficult to read. It's concerning to me that he's allowed my son in the first place, much less the fact that pedophilic and unconsensual acts were co-signed and encouraged by the older Vickers. They even continued to let her walk to him after they found out. They got together officially last year, but her parents took her on dates with him when he was underage. This is concerning behavior to me, Your Honor. I do not think that Mr. Vala should be allowed near my son, but at the very least, his interactions should be supervised. I request an order to that effect. This was the filing that I believe was thrown out immediately by the judge. This is what he showed up on Friday with, that Gator said that Vickers told him was immediately dismissed as being irrelevant to the case. I'm pretty sure that that was it, and not the other filing that I read out that was him saying that it's unconstitutional or that Vickers was also violating his restraining order. Do the equation. Well, if he was, Ralph alleged that he was both 18 and 19. So it's divided by 2 minus or plus 7. So 9 plus 7 is 15. That is not kosher, in case you're wondering. It is very weird that they would drive him out on dates together. In response, Ralph as May posted a series of tweets that were later deleted. Vicious Vickers replies saying, "Twitter isn't testimony, you stupid bitch. Intentionally leaving out screenshots in your possession that would otherwise refute your narrative on a sworn document, that is testimony, false testimony. And you two dumb fucks have already filed it with the court. And we fucking warned both of you. Now get ready for the pain. Get ready for the pain. You've stalker child, pedophile horse. You have entered a nightmare realm. You are now on my radar. Get ready for prison, horse." The court ain't the lowercase internet motherfuckers. Lies matter a lot. Black lives matter, more like it. Especially when you can prove some sycophantic psycho cunt knew that she was lying. Gigantic fucking mistake. Jeez, it really is a wonder why I cannot stand this fucking faggot. He even complained. I think I have that offhand. The screenshot of him complaining about me. I'll try to find it at the end of this. He also says, if you publicly accuse people of a pedophilia or enabling pedophilia that you cannot prove, and your own past actions show you don't believe, then yes, you deserve every bit of legal action that's coming your way. That's literally what the wall is for, you pair of degenerate halfwits. This lowercase I internet shit is baby school frolics. You've spent so long hiding from the real world, you either forgot how it works or never learned in the first place. I think Vickers is threatening to sue for defamation for being called a pedophile. The big P. This is a tweet that he deleted. Ralph says, the visit with my son Alexander went amazing. We hung out and played for 2 hours and also watched some... Oh, I already read that. Ralph says that he's considering on bringing Rosie for his birthday thing that he's doing. I'd probably have to take her on my own. It appears they're going after Amanda now. Amanda is not allowed to visit Xander with Ralph because Vickers filed and successfully achieved, because of her statements on Lolicon, that she should not be allowed around Xander. So May is not allowed for visitation. So in order to successfully spite Vickers and Faith, he's going to take the baby away from May and by himself fly her to California to visit Xander for 2 hours. Unless he also flies May up to California, which I couldn't imagine he would do because that would cost money. So one of the things brought forward was that Ralph had violated his restraining order by sending out a copy of Faith's journal that Ralph had in his possession. That would be a violation of his one-way restraining order that Faith has on him. However, he had noted that Vickers was able to technically violate the restraining order with plausible deniability by having his wife, Ariana, send something to their house for him. So learning from that, he simply had May take the fall and admit to being the one to send out Faith's journal instead of Ralph, so that he would not get in trouble for doing that. So here's the horse humiliation minute of the stream.
Hi everybody, it's Amanda. Happy first day of spring. I wanted to come on here and come clean about something that I did last year. I mailed Faith's journal out. I found the journal at Ethan's mom's house when I was cleaning it up after she passed away, and I held on to it. After Faith went on a show with Randbot, I believe, I decided to mail it out to get revenge. She said some things about me and my husband, and I felt like this was the only way to get even. And what I've learned, and what I should have already known, is continuing to escalate this conflict is just going to be hard on everybody involved. I sincerely want Ethan to have a good relationship with his son. I'm sorry for trying to humiliate you, Faith. I'm sorry for your family that you had to witness this. I'm sorry to the Daimao. He didn't even know what I was sending him. I just thought that he would want the content for his show. I wasn't really thinking about anybody's feelings. I wasn't thinking about how this was going to impact anybody in the future. And it was a wrong thing to do. It was very Mean Girls. And I should be a bigger person than that. I've learned a lot in this past year, and I really am taking this opportunity to try to heal and move past certain things in the past. And I just want everybody who's watching this to know that that wasn't right and that I take full responsibility for my actions. God bless everybody who's watching this. Have a good night. Goodbye.
I'm seriously considering, for comedic effect, going to Fiverr and going to one of those. I will make a professional jingle for your media product, and I'm going to pay them $20 to make me a 3 to 5 second long clip that just has like some stupid animation and jingle like, and now it's time to beat a dead horse, dun dun, and then it'll be like a nice little animation, simple, of like a guy with a stick beating a dead horse with a bat to the beat melody of that jingle. And every time I'm going to play the May humiliation clip for her suffering, I will play that jingle before, and it'll be like a new Gila thing. I'm strongly considering it. I'm going to stimulate the economy a little bit. I'll get some business expenses for my taxes. So now I have some more clips. This is from Ralph. I don't have notes for this, so they're all about like 1 to 4 minutes each. So I'm just gonna play, and I can't even remember what these are because I didn't have time to fill out my bits. Here we go. You ready?
Divorce will fuck you up, man. I'll tell you what.
Oh, I remember what this is.
Divorce will fuck you up.
I might have to put this on 2x. I don't usually put clips on 2x. I know people listen to me at 2x because I talk really slow. So I know if I play a clip at 2x, it'll be impossible for people listening in the future, which I believe is the majority of people who listen to this. It'll diminish the quality of that recording for them. So I don't usually play at 2x, but he's so slow that it's kind of amazing. In fact, if you put him on 2x now, he sounds like he used to before he started doing 5 bars of Zanny a day.
It's all this crazy, just absolute nonsense because I thought I needed to after I got divorced. When really, if I would have taken like 2 or 3 years to just steady myself and like make more money and stack bank, I would be in a so much better spot. But that's not what I did. But I would give that as advice for some other people though. Don't let the divorce, especially the person you think you're supposed to be with, don't let that fuck you off. Seriously, don't. Work on yourself first. At least 6 months. I'm saying year or 2. But man, take those 6 months, stack that money, make your next move. Don't worry about. I wish I'd done that now, dude. I made a ton of money in 2020. Like I wish I would have, like, instead of spending it on all this dumb, bad shit. If I would have saved all that money, I would be owning a house in Mexico right now, not renting. So, that's the thing.
The music is a live editorial choice from the producer of this stream snipe, which I believe is Cringe Mama. So Cringe Mama was listening to this and thought, I got to get some classical music to set the tone here.
Well, you know, you get older. I don't know. I guess it's different for guys too. You get older, and it's like, are you gonna have a family? Are you gonna have a wife? Are you gonna you know, procreate basically? So that's part of it too. But it's just like, I don't know. I just look back and I just think, man, that really, that I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I see the A-log say it. I don't have to have an A-log say it. The divorce fucking destroyed me. Like, I mean, yeah, that fucking killed me. Yeah, that definitely was not something.
He's said this so many times over the last couple of weeks that it really does stir some thinking. How much he said, talked about Nora's tits, how much the divorce impacted him. He just keeps bringing her up. And it makes me wonder, like, now that he's married to May and he lives a day-to-day routine with her as the wife, it must really suck. Like, if having the direct comparison of, like, wife Nora versus wife May, she must be terrible. She must be awful as, like, a wife and housekeeper. That he really does. Like, damn, I had it so much better with that fucking Packy bitch. I'll tell you what.
That I was anticipating ever happening, or ever wanted to happen. And if COVID hadn't happened, she was like, there was still a chance. Actually, she was coming to see me still. So, you know what? Things happen for a reason, though. Like, actually locked down the country. They locked down the world that very February and March.
Embarrassment. And
I talked to this person. It's weird because I've said this on air before, but I talked to this person so much they would be like the voice in my ear because they didn't live with me. So we always talked. And she would come stay a month at a time, 2 months at a time, whatever. But like we were always talking or watching something or doing something. And it was almost really like a closer relationship than most people have in real life.
The Secret Service is first and
Thanks for this guy. What is it? The Ricada A-logs really hate the fact that I don't follow Ricada's drama and I don't care. I don't understand what that is about. You know, actually, let me hold up. Surely I have. Hold up. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Let me check. Nose guard contract here. Yep. It's under here, under file 47B. I've already met my Ricada talking quota for this month. Check is in the mail already, so whatever you're complaining about can be postponed until a check does not cash, sir. If you're gonna A-log Ricada, you better get those Rumble checks bouncing, because I don't know what to tell you. I don't know anything about nothing, boy. In fact, I think I told Ricada if he wants to talk about Ralph's legal drama, I would be up for it. So, I don't know. You're just going to have to keep complaining. That's the only way to fix this. Keep complaining. Okay, I don't know what this one is. Like I said, I lost my notes.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm going to be here until it's over.
And he ended up...
I'm going to be here. My daughter's going to be here. My wife's going to be here. Unless that goes south. And then I'll have to get a new wife and a new daughter. But, I mean, that would be... That's cumbersome if you have to do that. That'll set the project back if we have to do that. But
like smashing my face into a wall.
Wait, how the f did she walk every?
Did I miss something? What was this clip?
Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm gonna be here until it's over. So.
And he ended up...
I'm gonna be here. My daughter's gonna be here.
Oh.
My wife's gonna be here.
Yeah, he's. This is the family business. He's grooming. He is dead set on having Cozy Rosie take over the family business. She will be the one taking Xanax and screaming into a camera very soon.
And this is all I can say. All this publicly. This is not a violation. I had a relationship.
It's not funny A-logging Ralph anymore. He's almost dead. That's why it's funny.
with Faith Vickers and had a son.
I see through Amanda's shit. This wasn't an actual, genuine apology. If it was, she would have deleted her shit before she sent it to me. She would have actually shown with her actions that she was sorry, rather than DMing me a bunch of falsehoods and taking ownership for one thing out of the dozens that she's done to me personally. Let alone what she's done to my family, what she's done to my fiance, and ultimately what she's done to my own son. She would have shown it through her actions. She wouldn't have been having to DM me to tell her something.
What the fuck kind of reaction was that?
Of the story.
What Thompson?
The dozens that she's done to me personally, let alone what she's done to my family, what she's done to my fiance, and ultimately what she's done to my own son. She would have shown it through her actions. She wouldn't have been having to DM me to tell her side of the story.
Oh, this is Faith talking about May.
Because I don't feel fucking sympathy for her. So that's where I say this. You two degenerate moms.
This is where you can tell that she's my daughter.
Yeah.
It's so weird. That's the voice of Faith and her mother Ariana, who is Matthew Vickers' wife, and they're all on a podcast with like internet D-listers called The Good, the Bad, and the Vicious, where they just like have a family cope together that Ralph gunted her, and now they're all genetically tied to Ethan Ralph forever and ever. It's so bizarre.
Don't fuck with me, okay? You two degenerate monsters must think I'm the dumbest bitch alive. You're about to find out.
Also, you made a mistake saying that to me because I didn't take that kindly.
Is he awake?
At first, I felt so sorry for you. I lived with Ralph. I know he's an alcoholic. I know his anger, and I know his fights. And it's not something I would wish on anyone to live with. And that's why I left. That's why I got the DVRO. Not this made-up fantasy you two seem to have that my parents are the most evil people ever who convinced me to do things because they hate Ralph for no reason. But then, you both laughed at how you had sex the night I found out I was pregnant with Xander. You both laugh at how my infant and my minor brothers were swatted. You both laugh at trying to destroy my fiance's life, a person completely innocent, out of spite and hatred. You both preach gospel, yet you walk the way of Satan. And you continue and continue to back that narrative up while you have an infant daughter. I don't feel...
He's just saving. Why would you broadcast this? Why would you broadcast your son's mother roasting you and your wife and the mother of your daughter live, knowing that you can't say anything because it risks violating the temporary restriction? You can literally see how red his face is. Like, it gets redder over time, I think, even in this clip, because he has to deal with it. He has to just cope and sneed. Really bizarre. Here's this one.
Yeah, I'm back, man.
Oh, did I already play this?
I'm gonna be here until it's over.
Oh. Yeah, I did already play this. Okay. Then one more thing to top it all off. Ralph, apropos of literally nothing, decides to announce to the internet. He says this: Donald Pete, only and last warning, bro. Stop fucking around with my money. 3 more failed transactions tonight after a false chargeback this morning. I'm putting your shit on blast. Stay the fuck away from me and my show. And Kelly Grimes is apparently associated with it as well. Stay the fuck away from my show or sending me anything. Ethan Ralph has just announced to the entire world that if you want to fuck with him, there's a way to do it. A very, very popular way, which the entire subclass of Wings of Redemption trolls have mastered to an art form. And he just announced that he gets pissed off. And in addition, he announces that he will dox his pay pigs if something happens and you charge back your super chat for whatever reason. And the last time he did this, it really tanked his support for like weeks, like 2 weeks at least. He was not meeting his goals at all. I don't know why he just doesn't learn. It's almost like, I don't even know how I can be disappointed in Ralph, but it's like when you really don't learn at all, dude. It's like, how do you not figure this out? How don't you understand what's going on? So that's it. There is one other thing. I'm really debating not showing this. I think I will mention it. Yeah, I mean, I've already said, so I have no choice. I have to show it. So Rosie had her birthday yesterday. I mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. For her birthday, they took her to a bar. As if that's not bad enough, people notice that in all the different photos, there are bruises, what look like. And there's different angles that I don't have censored. But you can tell that the bruises appear in 2 different spots, which really makes it look like a handprint, because you know how your fingers are segmented, there's bones on certain points. It really looks like bruises, like someone grabbed her arm really, really forcefully, and it left an imprint on her that is visible. So, I don't know if that's what's happened. I hope it's not, but I feel like the Ralph A logging is about to get a lot more shitty for him, unfortunately, because it is great content when he's not involving children for no reason. So, yes, I know it's getting dark. I'm not happy about it either. All the things that I find entertaining become dark and shitty at some point. So on that note, vertical lift bruising, very common among abused children. Well, the more you know. So on that note, I'm out, I think. I will read the super chats. However, I will give people an opportunity to send me something. People were complaining that I was not talking about certain things. If there's something so funny that I have to cover today, now is your opportunity. I am reading chat. Can I get some Jeopardy music? Play this for a bit. Okay. Here's your moment, chat. Fill me in. Anything else? Jack Scalfani. Jack Scalfani had his stroke. He's in bed complaining about how shitty the hospital food is. Boogie died. Very unfortunate. Hi, Josh. Hi, Abelia Goob. When's the bed at the video game Pizza Tower? I'm not planning on playing any games recently. Stop Baldo guarding. You have to tell me what you want me to talk about. Make an account and post your Baldo content in the Maddie thread so I have an opportunity to digest it like a normal person. Idubbbz got a vasectomy. Yes! Yes! I mean, I'm happy that Idubbbz won't reproduce, but Anisa's still gonna fuck a black kid. Pump out a couple black children for him to take care of. You should sell a Kiwi Farms flag, maybe. Browse the frog thread. Winds of Redemption is an A-log now against DSP. You have to tell me who he's an A-log against. The DSP interview fallout. DSP did an after stream bitching about how unfair the interviewers were, and the interviewers did an after stream where they took donations and they basically shit on DSP and said that he was insufferable and that they're detractors now. Sell me more silver. Oh, bro, I wish I could get more silver. I need more silver. Medicare was in a Baldo advertisement. I played it last stream. Thoughts on Western animation and its future? I don't know. All Western media kind of sucks. I can give you my interview of the whale, or my thoughts on the whale. Wings talked about Ralph. That a boy. I don't know. Wings can't go hard though, because if he goes hard, his A-logs will start bullying him too. New t-shirts in, yes. Oh, thanks for reminding me. Shout out. If you are the guy that did the art for the kiwi soup and also my dog, the one with the 3 eyes and the moon, he's a weird, like, I think he's like a furry artist. I don't know that for sure, but he gave me those designs out of nowhere to like my email address, and he doesn't check his email. My dude, I need a decennial design, and I would love to just get another one from you. So if you're that guy and you're listening to this podcast, please get into touch, because I have something in mind, and I think it would fit perfect with that style still. I am planning on decennial hoodies. I think I'm not going to make a risk and go out on plushies for the 10th anniversary, because I would rather just get something that I know will be good. Back to my Jeopardy music. Jamie Lee Curtis. Did I not talk about that? Did I not talk about Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter's son? Watch the Greasy Strangler. Thanks for the nightmares. Haven't stopped. You're welcome. Talk about the whale. I will. Okay. Shit, man. Geez, do I have a picture of this saved? I might, because I posted it on Telegram, so I might have it at the ready. I do. Okay. So this is Jamie Lee Curtis, very, very, very famous actress. She won Best Supporting Actress, I believe, as an Oscar from the Academy because of her role in Everywhere All at Once. Everywhere and Everything All at Once. I tried watching it. It's like 3 hours long. 1 hour in, she's in the IRS. There was a great scene where a bunch of IRS agents get murdered. That was an amazing scene. I loved that scene. But then it got really weird really fast, and I just couldn't. I lost interest and I toned out. But everyone's like, "Ooh, she should get, what a great movie! They should win every Oscar ever made." And I'm like, well, I didn't finish it, but that's Jamie Lee Curtis. She's an IRS agent, and apparently she has some kind of supernatural powers or some shit. I don't fucking know. I didn't watch it. It was kind of shitty. But Jamie Lee Curtis walks out to the Oscars and accepts her Academy Award with her transgender daughter, named Ruby Greymane. And as it turns out, Ruby Greymane, the son of a very famous actress, is this thing. Jamie Lee Curtis' son looks like an archetypical character of a porn-addled basement-dwelling mouthbreather, so it's really no surprise that her boy mom instinct is to demand every woman in the world give him exactly once all the time. He posts this picture of him, because after the media found out that he was like this gross weirdo, they all made fun of him, so he posts this picture of him saying, or him wearing a shirt saying, "Bigger dick than you, bigger tits than your wife's," which is pretty gross. This is him, by the way. He's a VTuber on Twitch. I actually want to see. I kind of have to show you this now. No, that's like an ASMR thought. Where is his Twitch channel? Aha. He has a goblin fetish. He's sexually attracted to Tristana and the other short stack from League of Legends. So he calls himself a Charity Goblin. His thing is a goblin. And we can go to his videos. I kind of want to show you his avatar.
Show support to
There we
people
go.
that like you want to.
My internet died for
The
a second.
deep voice is his. And look at how like professionally rigged his thing is. I think he has an AMD sponsorship. He's like connected to an AMD group, I'm pretty sure. Something that a lot of people would kill for. I kind of want one without the thought. Let's see. He's like playing boyfriend dungeon or some
Weaponized
shit.
hot sauce cocktail coming right up.
Oh, he has this other person
wow,
voicing
this
his
really looks like
lines.
a tiny crime scene down the.
I don't want to hear you, lady. Shut the fuck up. I want to see him playing League of Legends. This is him playing League of Legends, climbing in League. What's his rank? Where you at, bro? I don't know what his rank is. This is not League of Legends. This is some other shit. This is that other game.
Persephone.
This is not League of Legends. You're fucking lying to me, bro. Okay, that's him doing his rune page. I want to see his rank.
Howdy, howdy.
Well, look at that. Look at how many times this character of his appears on screen. He has it on the background. His OBS layout is a fucking disaster, but he has like a professional multi-$1,000 3D facially animated rig for his face. And then he has like a really like standard line computer, so it lags because it's animating this freak goblin character while it's also streaming a video game and shit. And I kind of want to see what his what rank is this? Is this just silver? I can't. They changed the borders. I don't recognize it. What rank is he on? Just silver? Someone who plays this fucking tranny game, tell me what his rank is. I can't tell anymore because they've changed it. It's silver. It's silver bronze. Okay. Oh, they have one, 2, 3, 4 in one show up as like studs on it now. So he's actually in silver. He's like he's in the bottom 50% of the game. Like silver 5 and bronze 1 is like if you're in those tiers, you're in the bottom 50. And he plays Draven, I guess. That's surprising. I thought he would play Tristana. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. And he gives all his money, he says in this thing, he's called Charity Goblin because all of his super chat money goes straight to charity because mommy Jamie Lee Curtis is a multi-million-dollar famous actress and he has literally no need for money. He has zero financial restraints on his life. So he can buy whatever computer he wants and pay people to rig up his OC character Goblin and then live that life playing video games 24/7, injecting HRT into his ball sack because mommy Jamie Lee Curtis will pay for all of it. And if he makes money in the process, he just gives it away to I think the Trevor Foundation is what he says in his description. Very fascinating, very fascinating. Oh, bottom 41%. Thank you. I didn't know. It's around there. They release the statistics every so often. I guess for this season, if you're in his rank, you're in the bottom 41%. I see. Checks out. That makes sense. That's in line with what I know. Okay, that's the Jamie Lee Curtis thing. What next? Let's go, chat. Let's go. What else? Make Kiwi Farms trading cards, maybe. I like the idea of a deck of cards. Someone gave Sam Hyde $5K to create an audiobook of the entire Gospel of Matthew. Would you be interested in doing the same with the book of Hebrews? I mean, I don't really have a good reading voice. And I feel bad, like, taking money to read that. I know that somebody, like, voiced the entire Bible using vocoding from Joshua Graham from Fallout, which is pretty funny. The Whale. Okay, here's my review of The Whale. I'm not going to spoil it. Basically, Brendan Fraser is a big fat guy. He's gay. This is not spoilers because it's in the opening scene. He's gay. He has a daughter that's 17 years old. He left her when she was 8 years old because he cheated on her mother with a man, and she broke up with him because of that. His boyfriend died of suicide, or rather murdered himself, as I like to say, because they were in a part of a church, and I think he got AIDS, and then he killed himself. I'm not making that up. They hint that he was withering away before he jumped off a bridge. That's also not spoilers. That's revealed pretty soon into the movie. And so he's got super depressed, and he started binge eating. And the movie has a very obvious allegory to Moby Dick. However, it's not really obvious who is Moby Dick. And I think that my interpretation is that Brendan Fraser is the whale, like literally is the whale in this allegory, because every character kind of revolving around him has some sort of interest in making him do something. But there's also like another way where the whale is very specifically his daughter and him trying to rekindle his relationship with his daughter. And when I saw the movie, I thought it would be a thing where it's like he realizes that he really loves his daughter and he wants to be around for her. So he gets his life back in shape. He loses weight. He takes care of himself. That is not what happens at all. And without spoiling anything, at the end of the movie, I'm left and I am forced to assume that the actual way that they wrote the movie and that they portrayed the character and the series of events that happened is that Brendan Fraser is the most selfish, destructive person ever. His entire world revolves around his every waking desire. He is willing to delude himself whenever possible to make himself feel better. He does not give a fuck about other people's suffering, and the only person that matters in the entire world is him. And when he has a particularly bad week, he resolves himself to involve other people in his life for no reason other than to gratify himself, knowing that they will be completely fucked over by the end of it. That is a huge narcissist. That is my interpretation of the movie. It's actually really good. I would recommend it. A lot of the characters are kind of frustrating, but at the end I'm left thinking, like, this guy is such a fucking dickhead. He really ruined all these people's lives for no reason, and he's delusional about it. And that's why a bunch of fat people complain that the movie's fat phobic, and it portrays fat people as like evil. Is the whale PPP or Ralph? Probably Ralph. I don't know. Maybe both of them. Who knows? I'm not going to make a call here. Boogie in the movie. It is. It's literally like that. It's very interesting. Okay. Last chance. Anything else I've not talked about? Where's my Jeopardy music? There it is. Okay. I don't know if the Cryx thing is a joke. I'm not talking about Cryx. I don't follow it. I have no idea. Boogie died. Unfortunate. Have you finished the ABJN audiobook? No, I have not. It's a slog. And I don't know if the rest of it will be as funny as his childhood stuff. Patches are in progress. Let me read you the last update. He says the patches are 6,700 out of 9,000 done. I'm really sorry for everyone waiting. I was really hoping they'd be done by now. The timelines that I've received are different than how long it's actually taking to produce them. I apologize for the delays, but they are being worked on. I'm getting pictures and shit. I know that they're coming. I don't. What's the issue with what's going on with PPP? That's the overriding theme that I'm seeing in chat. What's going on with PPP? The Kino Casino paywall, is Kino Casino all paywalled now? Talk about why you Baldo guards are hard. I'm telling you, make a Maddie post, bro. I can't help you if you're not going to give me information. PPP and Worski moving in together. That's right. They're living together. They're upgrading from bros with benefits to full in, move in bros, and they're happy. They're progressing in life. So on and so forth. How were you allowed back on YouTube and into my algorithm at Man at the Internet? Very carefully. Half is a meme, half is reality. Brosexuals, that's right. You all bros being basically. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm now gonna read the super chats. You are free to flee. However, I do have a special song picked out for Ethan Ralph today that you will miss out unless you go back and watch the archive and just skip past the super chats, which you could do, I suppose, if you're heartless and hate the fans of the fan zone. Where's my shill mode? Filters, green, done. All right, here we go. Filter last Saturday, date and time. Yep, okay. Medicare Masochist for $20 big dollars for $20 says, "Hi Jersh, I died laughing at your nuclear seething posts at the Spurgs who won't block people they hate. Make a wall of shame on the forum so if a tard acts shittily enough, he has to publicly post acknowledging his retardation before he can post anywhere else." That the issue with things like walls of shame is that while they're funny in concept, they encourage people to make alts and then act like a fucking asshole so that they get special attention. So it's not worth it, unfortunately. For donated $5 for $5, sent 5 for 5, says, "What is the most embarrassing yet mentally funny thing that has happened to you? Not involving the lowercase I internet. Please, I slipped on a banana peel in front of hundreds of people when I was 5. I have no idea what to do. I laughed and cried at the same time." Um, I mean, kind of in that same vein, when I was in Hokkaido, I bought a duty-free 4K monitor from an electronics store, and it was Christmas week. It was snowy outside, and I literally slipped walking across a street holding this. And I'm like in a huge Japanese crowded intersection. There's a dozen cars in each direction. There's like 100 people on the sidewalk, and I'm just there, and I'm awkwardly kneeling down on the pavement. Actually, no, I'm like on my ass with the TV in my lap, and I have to somehow stand up on this icy black road holding a 4K monitor to continue my walk. And Japanese people, their reaction to shame like that is to like politely ignore it. If they see something embarrassing, they will pretend that you don't exist. So it's really weird to be like just be sitting there and people paving around you like NPCs as if you don't exist. It's a little bit awkward. Blue Division for 5 says, what are your thoughts on TRS/NJP? Our paywalled podcast the solution for saving the white race? No, I don't think so. I don't think paywalling really helps. I mean, I guess it depends on what your ambition is. My ambition is I just want to entertain people and talk about my stream. I want to get the message out. That's how I started doing podcasts. I want to talk about my forum and the problems that I have so that more people would learn about it. It would not benefit me to paywall that stuff. Plenty of people choose to support through super chats and Gumroad and stuff, and that's all I need for right now. For like personal expenses and stuff. Igern for 4 says, you are a top government agent tasked with enacting global TND. You have all the resources and finances of the Fed to get it done. However, you have a 50-year time limit, and if the public can prove this conspiracy, you will have failed. How do you proceed? Okay. TND. Make it so that number one, make it so that there are cut government benefits for children and incentivize somehow either directly through holding welfare or just giving money, like literally giving $250 per abortion that you have. I think that would disproportionately impact stupid people and non-whites to financially incentivize abortion. And I think that would accomplish it. I don't know if it fell for Fed post. I'm just spitballing here. If you give me an idea, if I'm the Fed's top guy, they come to me and say, Josh, you're my top guy. I need you to get this done. I'm not going to tell them when they think I'm their top guy that I can't do it. I'm just going to do it the best that I can. How am I going to turn it down if I'm their top guy? Come on now. Be reasonable. Romeo for 2 says, as Western countries such as the United States of America are becoming more illiberal, which authoritarian country would you choose to host the Kiwi Farms as free speech was squashed in the West? Also enjoy the streams. If I had to pick a country to host the Kiwi Farms and just bite the bullet, I mean, I guess Russia. I think Russia would be the best bet. Maybe Taiwan. And because I think in Russia you can pay people. You can pay the right people and censor the right stuff about like Russia and shit, and then they would keep you up, at least until the internet fragments into the lowercase I internets. But that would be the best bet. Wilbur Watelli for 2179 says, eclectic music, Rule 11 by Fish in a Birdcage, Home by Magnetic Zeros, Give a Little by Legrand, Not Showing Mercy by Macroblank, Cigarette Daydreams, and Cold 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 by Cage the Elephant, Good Life and Weight of the World by James Schaefer. I've heard of none of those songs, even though I'm very familiar with Cage the Elephant, so I'll look into those. Thank you. Yusuf for 2 says, hey Josh, I'm in Cancun for vacation, so I'll catch the VOD. Hope you have a good week. I hope you enjoy Cancun. If you see a pig, make sure not to get him hollering, because he'll square up real fast, bish. Chud for 1090 says, hey Juice, I sadly cannot watch the stream today because I am busy, but since I'm certain that this will be a good show, regardless, I'll throw some shekels your way. Anyway, looking forward to the archive tomorrow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ace of Speds for 1090 says, my payday today, so time to pay all those nice Kiwis I ate. Pay for all those nice kiwis I ate. Oh, I guess that's like a kiwi farm allegory that I'm too slow in the mind to catch up on. Thank you. I wonder if that's the exchange rate. If $10 of your 10 euros is 10.90 in dollars. I bet you that's what it is. Thank you. Jack Mihoff Niger for 4 says, a haiku, waiting for Maddie. Josh fell asleep at the switch. He is late and gay. Haikus are the lowest form of poetry because they come from Japanese, and Japanese is just structured differently, so that I think you can probably say more in a Japanese haiku as opposed to an English one where syllables have less value. Thank you, though. Very nice. I appreciate it. Scuckerman for 5 says, you need a crash course in Zoomer memes to really find success with TikTok. Consult this Zoomer KF meme and play some Subway Surfers to really sell it. Is that the guy from Twilight? Yeah, I'll just play this real quick. I'll let it play as I continue to read. That is very nice, though. Good job. Pope Julius IV for 4 says, when will locale email be fixed? Never. I have no intention of fixing it anytime soon. I'm busy. Cole for 4 says, thanks for the stream's Jerish possible outro. And then he links to a song. Here is Herath singing her song Virtual Hell with Emily Yukis. Starts at 1 minute. I am not dumb enough to click that. I already have a song picked out, though. Thank you. I'll listen to it after the stream. Romberger for 2 says, I'm too preoccupied with Diablo 4 beta to find something obscure or retarded for you to read for my amusement. Take this week off, Josh. You earned it, my neighbor. Imagine giving money to Diablo. Fucking cringe. I can't believe that my Janny money is going straight into the pockets of a serial rape company like Blizzard. Right now, you're paying for some neckbeard to drink breast milk out of the company fridge. I hope you realize that. I was looking at Twitch for some reason. I saw Diablo 4 beta was out, so I clicked it, and literally they were all stuck in the same place in some frost cavern waiting for a boss to spawn, like begging Blizzard to fix it. One guy was like dancing because he knows it's boring to just wait there, so he had to dance to try and keep his thousands of viewers preoccupied. Wapo Journo for for 5 says, hello Josh, I'm from the Washington Post. I'd like to know if I've ever worked or associated with Sneed's Feed and Seed at any point. If you had any part in being formerly Chuck's. Fun fact, my old address in Pensacola is listed as a business called Sneed's Feed and Seed, a pet supply store. So I can see how you get that connection. Anime for 5 says, I wish I had $1 million to pay you to watch my favorite psychological horror anime, Vampire Knight. I could pay you in bussy. My bussy is the juiciest on the market, I assure you. That's fucking gross, bro. I've never seen Vampire Knight, so I can't comment. Yusuf for 2 says, oh God, me and Cozy Rosie have the same birthday. Happy birthday, motherfucker. Timus for 777 says, hey Josh, recently I switched from Gmail to a custom domain Tutanota, which is a great choice for privacy. I'm now looking to build my own VPN on Windows because I don't trust NordVPN, ExpressVPN, any advice on which open source software tools to use. I believe OVPN works. And you can just install OVPN on any VPS in the entire world. So you can either but then, I mean, that's really easy to track you. If you're the only person using an IP, then it's not really a VPN. It's just like, I mean, it masks your IP address, but anybody can figure out that IP belongs to you. You could just set up like that, though. There's no problem with that. Or just use Molvad. I think Molvad's what's popular with the kids. I use private internet access because I've had it for so long. I've just never bothered to switch it after they got bought by CyberGhost. Leopold 3 for 10 says, hey Josh, thanks for all the laughs you bring here every week. I still remember how I discovered you. I was revisiting Metacritic videos and you popped up in the recommendations. I recall how weird your voice was at first, but I began to appreciate it. Yeah, the voice is the main obstacle people have getting into my podcast because I'm doing a voice thing and I sound like a complete weirdo. So that's like a put off. Anytime I guest appearance on somebody else's podcast, they're like, oh my God, the vocal fry. What the fuck? Thank you. Anonymous for 2 says the Beehive is a Latter-day Saints reference. The logo of the Beehive was used by the Relief Society, which is the organization of the church. Fun fact, the Relief Society is the longest running women organization in American history. Actually, I do have a fun story about that. There is a Asian allegory to the Red Cross that exists, and it still exists. It's from China, and it's basically the Red Cross but in China. And I'll turn off shill mode for this for the sake of it. It's called the Red Swastika Society. This is not a joke. Obviously, there's a Wikipedia page, and their logo is basically the same thing as the Red Cross in Switzerland. It's just the red swastika because I think it means like peace or something in their language. So, fun fact: they're still around. They still have a headquarters in China, or rather, they're in Taiwan now. I guess they're a part of the Kuomintang, and they did relief during World War II. Similar to the Red Cross in Europe. 167-year-old Bank Credit Suisse for 5 says, "Ack!" 167 years. Down the drain. Takes one generation of troons to fuck it all up for everybody. I'll turn this off because someone told me that animations make my videos really, really big. So I'll just turn that off now. Sorry. Agent Rungle Cooper for 545 says, through the dark of future past, the magician longs to see one chance out between two worlds. Fire or walk with me. I'll catch you with my death bag. You may think I've gone insane, but I promise I will kill again. Is that a reference to Fire or Walk with Me? That show by that guy, Lynch, the Lynchman? I've never seen that. I apologize for not catching your avant-garde David Lynchian reference. Striga for 2 says, good job. Thank you. Polyfrog for 5 says, U.S. banks are sitting on $1.7 trillion in unrealized losses per BI. People have done the math, and U.S. banks are broke. It's actually over total banker death. If you think that the U.S. federal government will not do literally everything to keep this facade going for another decade, you're out of your mind. They will kill anybody. They will shut down anything. They will do whatever it possibly takes to keep those banks looking solvent and the U.S. dollar looking secure for even another day. So I don't know. Like I still have all my merchandise money from the last run just sitting in a bank account. I don't know what to do with it. I could put it into stocks. I could put it into silver, but I don't want to have that much physical silver when I'm moving around so much in a foreign country. It's like I don't know what to do. Hopefully the bankers will not all die in the next couple months before I figure out what the fuck to do. Unless somebody has some genius investment strategy they want to pitch me on my email. Oops. Oop, almost spoiled the song. Ah, no. Don't want to. Why is it doing that? Don't play. I don't want to spoil that song. Okay. Anonymous for 545 says, McKinsey is a U.S. consulting firm, one of the big three, along with BCG and Bain. All three are the U.S. global homo exports, but by being the biggest consulting firm. Their alumni are ministers and heads of state quite often. Mitt Romney used to be a Bain CEO. Well, there you go. I thought it was British because it sounds British. Ice Mexican for 10 says, good afternoon, Mr. Potter. I've sent a picture of my beautiful urban woman endlessly enjoying a meal that I would like to show chat. Thanks, Nibba. And he links a Twitter post by someone called Boof DMT. This appears to be a black woman eating cornstarch. I do not know what that means. I will leave it up until the next thing that comes along. Thank you. Come Baker for 10 says, hi, Josh. I'm currently stuck in my home dodging conscription in Eastern Europe. How do I not go crazy from isolation? Thanks for the content. Kiwi Farms really helped me pick up English as a second language. I really hope not. You're going to be talking like a retard. That's a good question. How do you dodge? I mean, if you're Russian, go to Armenia or something. Lots of Russians have fled to Kazakhstan or Armenia. I'm sure there's like a nice choo-choo train that you can take to get there. I know that if you're Ukrainian, you're stuck in the country. You can't leave. The border guard won't let you leave if you're a man. Dress up in drag. Actually, no, they've tried that. They'll fuck you over too. Not going crazy in isolation. I don't know. Get a hobby. Learn to program. Learn to program Rust and develop my forum software with me. Thank you, though. Romeo for 4 says, a way to balance out Tracer. Her hitball is too small, sleek, and unappealing, so it's hard to hit her with hit scan weapons. Rounder shoulder shape would help. At the same time, we aren't enlarging her head, so these will be mostly body shots. Your thoughts? Yeah, that would really balance Tracer out a bit if she was particularly round. I agree, bro. What a great idea. Twinkle Tart for $100 says, hello, good sir. I took a poll in general chat. Wants to know what your thoughts are on Wolf Tone's P arc. I will, for $100, I will ask general chat live on air, what the fuck is Wolf Tone's P arc? And then I will wait for a reply from the homosexuals in that chat. I'm people are replying Lamau, ROFL, LOL, Lamau. Nobody has given me a straight answer yet. He threw pee and got arrested. Very autistic topic of conversation. Apparently this man, Wolf Tone is an extremely autistic man. He is very active in the general chat. If I see him in the Gunt chat, I will yell at him to return to the general chat. His user avatar is the flag of Chechnya, I'm pretty sure. And the word Wolf Tone is German, I think. It's like the name of a band. It had it was like, hold on, let me look this up. It's like Wolfatana or something. Is a political figure, but it's also an Irish revolutionary. There's an Irish revolutionary band called the Wolf Tones that are named after this Irish guy that was a revolutionary. So he's like a weirdo. I guess he loves like insurgencies, and he threw pee at somebody and was arrested. Wolf Tone's a very strange person. I don't dislike him, but he's not allowed in the Gunt chat because people there find him annoying. Thank you, Twinkle Turd. Anonymous for 5 says, the beehive is actually a biblical symbolism a la land of milk and honey. It's supposed to be reference to unity and service. Religious Relief Society adopted the symbol, but it's everywhere in early LDS buildings. It's even on the podium in the Salt Lake Temple. I feel like, though, they should have used the actual beehive symbol from whatever that is, as opposed to like the super sleek corpo branding beehive they use for the flag. I'm curious what that looks like. Beehive Society symbol. I'll put Utah. Yeah, see, look. They have like a way more like complicated looking beehive on their flag. And this is the one from the University of Utah. And you can see that this one also is like way more complicated. And then you compare that to the flag of Utah. And it's like way smooth. It just looks like a corporate beehive branding thing. And it's like they should have used the more complicated design that mimics other things present in symbolism in their state already, as opposed to just getting like a corporation to redesign it. And sure, it looked a little bit goofy, but you know, it's about history. Flag should be about history more than branding. And once you have history, branding comes with it. Harriet Tubman's titty fuck surprise for 5 says, subscribe to the Gumroad peasants. I agree. Thank you. Banana Hammock for 4 says, be honest with us, you actually really like the VTuber thread. There's always drama going in there. The person says that because I commented on Nanners. Nanners was, I know of Nanners because they were very active on like 4chan and adjacent image board things for a long time. She sang songs about lolly, like Pumph. And it's just a song about, you know, a lolicon getting molested. and she got creeped on super hard because she was catering to like sexual degenerates on 4chan and 8chan. Randomly deleted everything, hardcore denounced everybody on 4chan and 8chan, became like a super Tumblrite, and now she's a VTuber and she makes tons of money because she still does the cute little girl anime voice as her VTuber persona and plays lolicon stuff like Nico Para from what people said in reply to me on the VTuber thread. I know of Neanders because of image war drama. And people were talking about Neanders. I don't really have a heart. On one hand, I think she's groomed. On the other hand, I think that she still perpetuates this for money, which makes her a whore. And I have a TWD stance when it comes to that. Hokuriku for 2 says McKinsey are American, not British. They're also insidious as fuck. They've been caught operating a shadowy government orchestrating Canada's federal policies. I'm aware that Trudeau said that he was a part of some NGO like that. I'm not surprised. It's these big companies, they pay people millions of dollars to do what they want to. That's not news. Internet best friend for 218 says, hey Josh, I'm just curious on what websites or news feeds do you follow for news on the uppercase I internet? I'm looking for sites to add to my RSS feed. For you Zooms, have a look at RSS rather than Twitter. Thanks again for the streams, bro. I try to avoid the news actually because I hate it. You should try to follow. If I had to like start putting together a news list, start with Disclose and Torrent Freak, I suppose. They are pretty on top of stuff. PP Poo Poo for 10 says, Linus' sponsor D-Brand did a deal today you laugh at. ShortLinus.com, offer code 5'1". Speaking of short, this video, hopefully you haven't played this by now by the time you get to the super chat. Let's take a look.
I mean, it's been kind of eye-opening. I'm
gonna skip to the highlight.
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
Word hard R?
Long ago, but to my kids.
Are you talking like N-word hard?
Where?
And it's funny because to me, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but to my kids.
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
What art
That's
are
the N-word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Oh, he's talking about the word retard. He thought that hard R meant retard, and he said that he was dropping the hard R, and his co-host is like, "Are you insane? Why would you talk about this?" And then he clarifies, "No, I meant retard." That's pretty funny. Poor autistic man married to a chink. Numa for 20 says, one steady hand, one day Kim Jong-un needs a new heart. I do operation, but mistake, Kim Jong-un die. SSD, very mad. I hide fishing boat, come to America. No English, no food, no money. Null give me job. Now I have house, American car, and new woman. Null save life. When the fuck did I do any of that? I'm very glad to hear about your successes in the American dream. But I simply do not recall saving your life, sir. Thank you, though. Max for 15 says, leader follower is terminology used in NSDAP labor laws to replace manager employee. That's funny. You just can't escape it. Well, I'm sure that when they used it, it was the Führer. You gotta be careful of your team Führer. You gotta listen to what your Führer says when you're on a tour guide or something, or in a group project. Don't want to stray away from what the Führer has to say. Max for 15, or Peter Muskrat for 218 says, nice to see you growing some sneedlings. Keep us posted. I will, thank you. Catboy Ranch Dressing for 2 says, Ralph just tweeted a screenshot seething at some gunt orbiter Discord, and for some reason brought you up and said Josh Moon or Potter, pervert or whatever. So congrats on living rent free in Ralph's head on his daughter's birthday, Josh. That's very sad. He was fucked up on her birthday too. I'm sure that's no surprise. That's why they went to a bar instead of doing anything fun with the kid. I do not participate in any Discord servers adjacent to the Kiwi Farms or the sector. But I'm sure you all know that by now. By the way, you just reminded me. There's Something I forgot to show. You're gonna get special content if you're sticking through. That's what I need to do. I need to sneak special content into the super chat segment so people want to listen. Oh man. Hopefully I'll be able to find this in time. Matthew Vickers actually replied to me talking about him. And he was pretty pissed off, and I might be able to find this if I'm lucky. I save shit to my downloads directory. I just have a downloads directory with 20 million things in it. And when you hear these delays and I'm like stalling for time, I'm literally going through a downloads directory with 18 million screenshots in it, desperately trying to find the one that has the thing that I'm looking for that I know I've downloaded somewhere and cannot find. I may have to call it quits on this one though. Unfortunately, and Matthew Vickers' profile is private, so it's like I can't pull it up when I want to either. He basically, I'll just sum it up. He complained that what I say is about him is misinformed. And that seems to be like people's go-to reaction when I talk about them. It's like if they don't want to like get into the shit and I say something that they don't like. Wait, does anyone have the Vickers tweet about me? If I say something they don't like and they want to protest it, but they don't want to get into like specifics or they don't want to get to the shit, they just say I'm misinformed and I'm ignorant to change. I'm ignorant and I'm hesitant to change. I just want to be wrong. And it's like I don't know how I'm wrong. Like you know, as far as Ralph like taking the shit and calling him a pedophile for allowing like an 18-year-old to date his daughter, that's bad parenting. I don't know how else to put it. And it may be, or not may, but Faith being this fucked up to begin with, that's your fault. There's no other way to put it. She's not like mentally ill. She definitely got fucked up by by your genius parenting strategies, which by the way, when she had not yet gotten pregnant, this is a little unrecorded piece of history. Between the time that Faith was having issues with Ralph and she hadn't gotten pregnant yet, there was a point of time where Vickers was trying to interfere to get her to come back early. And people gave him good advice on how to deal with this. He completely ignored it, protested that he knew his daughter and he knew what was best for her. Bailed out of the forum very early because he was unhappy with the attitude that people were giving him. And she got gunted and she got pregnated and she ended up in a fucking mental hospital. And never once did he go back and say like, maybe those people were right with their tips. Because he was doing like hardcore aggressive asshole stuff where he was like cutting off her phone contract and doing whatever he could to make her as unhappy as possible. Like just trying to exert control over her, which is obviously because she ran away, was a reason why she wanted to get away in the first place. And she went to someone exactly like her father, because that's what women do when they have daddy issues. And he never has allowed himself to reconcile the fact that it's his fault. And he says when people point this out, that they just don't know what they're talking about and that they're misinformed and deliberately trying to misrepresent things. And it's like, no, you're just a piece of shit, believe it or not. You're a fucking failure, Mr. Vickers. Someone might have had the screen. Oh, here we go. Josh doesn't like me. Who knew, right? The great thing is, if you actually watch the clip, all it shows is that Josh maintains his pattern, doesn't know shit about me, thinks all my kids are adult age, for fuck's sake. Like, who gives a shit? It's like a technical distinction. His opinion on Faith is locked in crazy shit she did years ago, and because she got gunted and impregnated. And she's not that much older now. It's like 1 year. It's like 1 or 2 years later. It makes no mention of the last year plus, because I mean, what's been happening? You've been losing your fucking mind, wasting thousands of dollars to deal with the fallout, to try and impress people on the internet. Is big time butthurt because I don't use the farms to leak shit. There's no such thing as leaking public record, by the way. Anyone can get it. Number one, you leak it to specific people who suck your asshole. Number two, no, I'm actually kind of annoyed that you're just that ignorant. Like, people really did try to help him because they wanted to spite Ralph and get him his daughter back. It wasn't from a good place. They wanted to help him to spite Ralph, and he still turned down the advice. And he is the one that has to deal with the fact that his only grandson at this moment is Ethan Ralph's. And he can blame me for being butthurt, whatever the fuck he wants, but he's the failure. But Josh, I pay him almost no mind anymore because he's never going to think differently, because he's never going to actually talk to me. He's just going to get his information about me from his site, and most of that is highly inaccurate. Is she or is she not gunted? I base my opinion of this man off, number one, off primary first-hand interactions that I've had with him personally on my site, and number two, with the fact that Faith Vickers is gunted, forever gunted. How am I misinformed? How have I been misled by the Kiwi Farms? Motherfucker, I've talked to you, and your daughter is gunted. That's all I need to know to base my opinion that you're a fucking idiot. Shits I give equals 0, 0, which is why he wrote 1, 2, 3, 4 posts and responded to the biggest Ralph dicksucker on the internet. The funny part here, it's not Josh Takes. It's Iso Shaggy's comment that Josh is finally calling him out when he has pretty much been Josh's take from day one. Yes, that's true. I have not changed my opinion on Mr. Vickers at all. In fact, if anything, I'd probably worsen my opinion on him. Because not only that, but he ends up in court and he takes L's from Ralph. He doesn't win everything that he does in court. Because he can't stop bloviating on the fucking internet for attention. The stupidity continues to fascinate and intrigue me. Ooh, I'm an internet celebrity now. I don't get upset about what people say. I become fascinated and intrigued by their behavior. I'm so above it all. I'm a 46-year-old man who hosts a podcast about how my own daughter was impregnated by a pig monster. I am just literally in the clouds, heads and tails over this lowercase I internet drama. Bitch nigga. Where was I? What was your Big Sneed for 436 says, what is your opinion of Bitcoin having much more of a speculative asset than an actual currency? The boom in value is nice, but it's also more expected to the schizophrenic swings of the market, as well as being slated for murder by regulation. It is slated for murder by regulation. I don't know what to feel about Bitcoin. I would prefer if it was a real currency. I do use it as a currency whenever possible. I don't try to make predictive guesses about its value, which has only cost me long term because I don't have tons of money. I don't know. I wish it was a currency, but I know that it's not meant to be. The governments won't allow it, but I hold out hope, chat. I hold out hope. Chimp Lord 1977 for 2 says, Justin Roiland should unironically link up with Sam Hyde. The publicity of the 2 canceled Adult Swim alums working on media enterprise together would make major news waves. They could probably overshadow Adult Swim quickly. Might even pull Zach Hadel into it. Hey man, that's a great idea. Pitch it to Sam. Pitch it to Nick Rochefort. Get on his cameo. Pitch the idea. Pay him $20 to answer. Do a face cam where he answers your great pitch. Say it's on the house, Mac. Maybe it'll jog the nog a little bit. Stick with him. La Autriche for 218 says, come to Vienna. I'll give you a beer and a job. But seriously, I own some real estate in ex-Yugoslavia. But I could never live where you do. How do you deal with the chicks there? Also, try a Podman as a drop-in replacement for Docker. I don't know, man. Slav women are crazy. I don't know what to tell you about that. Austria is nice, but you guys are psychotic because you are like on that train of thought where you're even worse than the Germans when it comes to like their anti-Nazi stuff. We're like, no, really, we're super good now. I promise, guys, don't call us Nazis. We're not, because you guys like agreed. You guys are the only country that like, actually, yeah, we're gonna be Nazis now. So now you have to like super repent for it. And Austria is like the shittiest of all the EU countries in terms of freedom of speech. I would never want to live there. I'd end up in jail. I'm probably the shit I say every day on podcasts is illegal in Austria. Oh, try Podman as a replacement for Docker. Okay, maybe I will, motherfucker. Is this It's gotta be for Windows though. But my computer's crashing anyways. I have to take it out and dust it off and unplug it and reassemble every connection, and hopefully that'll work. I'll do that tomorrow. Mac Match Moak for 2 says, enlighten me with your wisdom, Sir Moon. Is Perry Caravello legit? He rages seem fake a lot of the times, but people are really into him. What's the story behind this guy? Who the fuck is Perry Caravello? Why would you ask me about somebody I've never heard of ever before? Is this Shoe Nice? It looks like Shoe Nice. Bro, I have no idea what this is. I mean, oh, this guy. I might have.
God damn it! I'll take a fucking bite. That is it.
It might be fake. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know anything about him, so it's hard to say. He looks a lot like Shoe Nice, though. David S877 for 50 says, trans flight attendant kills himself. Good news. The FFA allows trans people to be commercial pilots. Hope you're not flying anywhere. Does he kill himself on a flight? What's the news there? Did he just jump out the plane? Transgender United Flight kills self after coming out commercial. It had been struggling. They don't even use pronouns here. I love the way they word this. Kaylee Scott, transgender United Airlines flight attendant, kills self after famed coming out commercial. Had been struggling with depression and disillusionment with her employer. They finally use a pronoun. Found dead at her Denver, Colorado apartment. That's not as funny. I thought they did it like they did a flip outside the plane. That would have been funny. Thank you, though. Iceberg, the same way about tech issues for 2, says, friend had the same PC problems as you. Monitors turned off. Seemed to still be running. Replaced the PSU and reseated everything. Still broken. No diagnostic info. Fixed by replacing GPU or motherboard. I don't recall and can't ask. He vanished 9 months ago. Shout out Bussy Blaster. Bussy Blaster, tell me. I hope to fucking God it's not the motherboard. I scratched the back of the motherboard up real bad putting it in. I fucked up because I didn't know how to access parts of the mother. I put it in wrong, and then I had to because I put the CPU in after I seated the motherboard, and I couldn't unseat the motherboard because I couldn't undo the screws that are like permanent affixtions. So I had to fuck around with it and be very careful, and I scratched the hell out of the motherboard. So that might be it. OG Pray More Homie for 10 says, hey Juice, more music for you. YouTube playlist music. Also, my mom is the only black programmer I know. She is ghetto adjacent who was raised in South Central LA. She never complained about whitelist. Is my Neezy, is this a black Maddie listener? Are you the guy that sent me the playlist with all the like hip hop rap music? That was my main issue, or not rap music, but like gospel music. That was my main issue with it. I really feel that hip hop is like a very limited format because it's mostly like a heavy beat with like poetry over it, and sometimes it can be quite nice, but it feels very samey to me. I make an exception for Dance with the Devil by who did that? Immortal Technique. Immortal Technique's Dance with the Devil is a transcendental hip hop song that is introspective and thoughtful. The piano classical music incorporation is one of the best. It's just an extremely solid song. But outside of rare songs like that, I'm not much of a fan for hip hop. That is interesting, though. I guess it makes sense because if a black woman's programming, she's got to be smart, and then her kids are going to be smart, and they're going to super chat to my podcast. You dig? Know what I mean? Thank you. A&N did nothing wrong for 1090 says, watch your Mama June stream with family a little while ago. It's worth a few euros. Thank you very much. I'm glad people still watch my old shit. It makes me feel good. Beetlebug for 2 says, hello, I was growing sprouts and had a weird fluffy fungus or mold. I asked around and was told it was normal, nothing to worry about. I tried to save them by transplant, but I killed everything. This was before asking. Well, hopefully the mold doesn't kill everything. I'd be really sad if I fucked up that bad. Question mark for 218 asks, is it pronounced water or water? I don't know. I like water. It sounds right. I don't know why people point that out and say like, oh, you pronounce it wrong. You know what the fuck I'm saying. What else could I be saying? Hostile Ghetto for 5 says, do you think giving all this new AI tech to public is a gay up to destroy anonymity on the internet? No, I don't believe that. Because this is just how open source develops. And most of it is not like open source properly yet. The good stuff isn't usually, unless it leaks. I do think that they will seize the opportunity to pass certain legislation to require IDs for posting to the internet and stuff, though. I'm sure they won't miss the opportunity. Aiden Paladin's Yamaka for 5 says, You can't call it white phosphorus anymore. It's Palestinians. You can't call it white phosphorus anymore. It's Palestinian child's happy smoke. Listen, Goy. White phosphorus has several non-lethal applications as a smoke and anti-targeting device that helps the IDF commit to land-based tactics lawful under the Geneva Convention when conducting anti-terrorism raids. So just because you see some white phosphorus doesn't mean that it's being used to kill people. Like, that would be a shanda. It's all above board. All above board. Anonymous for 5 says Shane Noakes, fat, gay, disabled furry who LARPs as a hacker, not to be confused with Frederick Brennan. Leave my boy alone. He's had a hard life. Esoteric Wooism for 5 says, please read this and tell me if you think Brianna Wu is playing dumb or being sincere. I cannot tell. This tweet has caused me actual mental anguish. I have a problem. Oh, fuck. He didn't talk about the Brianna Wu shit. People are upset because Brianna Wu is obviously trans, and the trans folks are like, wait, why are they trying to claim to be LGBT when they're not actually... Because Brianna Wu has never talked about being trans. So they're thinking, wait, I always thought Brianna Wu was trans. Why do they call themselves LGBT if they're a cis woman and married to a man? And they're legit, Wu is legit eating shit because people are saying that he's a fake LGBT person because he claims to be a cis woman bisexual that's married to a man. And it's really funny because he refuses to tell people that he's a tranny. Brianna Wu says, catching up on the Linus tech drama. Wait, hard R doesn't refer to the slur for mental disabilities? What other slur even starts with R? I run in pretty leftist circles and I can't think of one. Brianna Wu and Linus Tech Tips running around telling everyone that they drop the hard R constantly. And they're getting met with weird looks and don't understand. Vouch the Stampede's Plantussi. For 2 says, my fiance is on the cannon listening to you so I can hear your dulcet tones echoing from the bathroom. Thanks, Josh. That's very awkward that you would tell me that. Your fiance is probably embarrassed to know. Be careful. I know what Redditors do in the bathroom, you know. There's a meme where people on Reddit and like relationship subs are like, my husband spent like 2 hours in the bathroom. He had like a whole, like, I thought maybe we had to go to like a doctor, like maybe you're constipated or something. He spent like 2 hours in the bathroom every day. He had like a whole routine. He brings in his iPad with headphones and his charger, and he's just in there for 2 hours. What's he doing? How is it taking him 2 hours to poop? And then people have to, because, you know, the Redditors have to pretend that they're not also doing that. And it's like, well, ma'am, he may not be pooping after all. And it's a huge shock. It's a huge shock, I'll tell you what. But it is a meme. Nikita for 5 says, how do you like living in Serbia and Ukraine? As someone who's visited Ukraine multiple times, I can't think of any justification other than dirt cheap cost of living for staying in Ukraine. And it says Serbia. All the best. I will say that Serbia is a little bit more expensive, but this is actually something that I got asked a lot by Serbs when I told them I had lived in Ukraine previously. They ask, oh yeah, you like Serbia better? How's Serbia like compared to Ukraine? They get like very competitive, like in a passive way, like, oh yeah, what's Ukraine like? Huh? Is it better or worse, Serbia? I will say Serbia is more well developed than Ukraine. It's definitely more stable, obviously. It's also a little bit more expensive, so it's a bit comfier and more, especially in Belgrade when you're not out in the villages. It's Ukraine is definitely has further to go. Yeah, I mean, I moved out of Ukraine in 2019 because I didn't like Zelensky. Literally, I didn't like Zelensky. I was afraid of what he was going to do. I thought I literally I didn't want a comedian to be in charge of a country that I was living in that was on the brink of war. So I left and I moved to Serbia. And on retrospect, I believe that I made the right decision. But yeah, Serbia's comfy. Eeyore for 15 says, Josh, are you with it? Do you understand what's going on? Are you based and Eeyore pilled yet? And I think that this is going to be a clip of Ralph talking about how he liked Eeyore.
EOR is what my initials are, and it was always Eeyore. Eeyore was my favorite character from Winnie the Pooh. So I'm not sure if that's an insult, but Eeyore is actually based as fuck, and he's the only one who actually understands the world on the whole entire show. And he's by far the highest IQ person on the show.
My mom would call me an Eeyore. Anytime because I was like a mopey teenager. Anytime I said anything that's like a pessimistic statement, she goes, God, you're such a fucking Eeyore. And I never watched Winnie the Pooh, so I didn't understand the reference. But she explained to me that he's like a mopey sad sack in this show. So I don't know. I don't know why. You have to cut out Eeyores in your life. You have to be a positive Polly, not an Eeyore. Seeker Luther for 10 says, Happy Ramadan, non-believer. How would Chantal survive Ramadan after the day-long fasting? Will she go on a Ramadan rage induced by fasting? Can you give me an answer, non-believer? She has said that her plan for dealing with Ramadan is to take sleeping pills and sleep through the entire day so she doesn't have to be hungry. That's not a joke. She actually said that. That's her plan. Thank you. Adolf Sneedler for 25 says, thanks for being the only streamer worth watching. Everyone else is too racist or not racist enough. I do try to, that is fair. That's fair. I do try to strike a balance because there are some people who are like so istic against whatever that everything has to be about that. And I definitely consider that my intolerance is a facet of a broader perspective that I have and not something that it's like that rules my life. Like with Randbot, his isms, his istics, they are his entire personality, and it's really grating. You don't want to be around someone like that. It's difficult to listen to. Thank you, though. Bob Carter for 2 says, hey, you didn't read my last one. Anyways, I knew one black guy that could code. He also ran Hero System and Shadowrun, some fairly math-heavy TTRPGs. He was from New York City. I'm also fairly sure that Maximum Mike, the guy that made Cyberpunk 2020, knew how to code too. Well, based on Cyberpunk 2020, I would be skeptical that Maximum Mike knows how to code. I don't know anything about him. I'm just going off of that. And I'll take your word that you knew a black guy that knew how to play tabletop role-playing games. That's not really coding, though. Average police response time for 5 says the principle of liberals sticking fast to ACAB is hilarious to me, considering their stances on Second Amendment. Who are they going to call when someone threatens to attack them? The cops, who are all bastards, the militia they disarm, dominoes? Nobody. They believe that there will be like anarchistic, this is not a joke, this is based off what I heard off Pete's. They will be like anarchistic communes. They will be centrally communally organized, non-violent, trained in de-escalating violent situations and convincing people to turn themselves in. And then there will be like rehab and rehabilitation over punishments. So jail will be like whatever. And that's how they imagine. They'll believe that literally through the power of love and magic, the communal, self-sufficient police force will be able to talk people into prison cells so that they can be rehabilitated. Deadly Hollowed for 5 says, the only black programmer I know is Malcolm's black friend from Malcolm in the Middle. I've never seen Malcolm in the Middle either, but I'll take your word for it. Thank you. Ace of Speds for 436 says, a circle of protection on anyone trying this food, so mote it be in the witch's circle. TMDWU, which is, I think, an acronym about Cobra's magic. I'm not entirely sure, though. Yeah, that food looks like it would run poorly through a digestive system. Damn, I'm hungry for pizza day. That's 2 days away, too. Fuck. I had falafel today. Thanks for asking. Hacks Leak for 5 says, you need to update your Ralph voice. You don't sound brain damaged enough. Maybe drop some Zanny Birds before a Ralph segment to make it authentic. I can't, if I talk any slower, it'll drag on the stream. So I just do my regular, nice Southern gentleman Ralph voice. Phil T. Collards for 5. For 5 says, if you want a hearty keck, look at the hashtag. This is what a game dev looks like right now on Twitter. It's exactly what you would expect with the usual show. Okay. That's compelling. I will do this. Why is it not working? Whoa, Twitter. Twitter does not want to load for me on Firefox. I wonder why. Yeah, that hashtag is banned or something. It's not loading for me. This is hashtag. This is what a game dev looks like. And then there's no entries whatsoever. Sorry, bro. Twitter's broken. Mr. Man for 2179 says Pippa Pips Bunce from the Credit Suisse is a fat Angloid cosplaying as Samus Aran from Metroid fame. Lunacy. While the Anglo situation is irredeemable, I remain in good spirits. My only hope is that the rabbit VTuber gets accosted by the situation. because they both have the name Pippa. You think people are going to think that Pippa Pipkins runs Credit Suisse and ran into the ground, and some deranged banker that lost all his money is going to behead Pippa Pipkins? That would be a pretty funny end to the story, I gotta admit. Anonymous 4 says, your reading Gunt's filing was wrong. You were doing the Southern Gentleman voice, not Trailer Trash Drunk with extra slurring. Also, Christ, he seriously wrote Your Honor in a filing. Dude, this is the second time that he literally wrote Your Honor in his fucking, like, not contracted Your Honor, but Your Honor. And it's, like, yeah, it's nonsense. He has no idea what he's doing. But he's pro se, so the court is obligated to give him some leniency with the unprofessionalism of his writing. Gesamtkunstwerk. Don't know what that means. I hope Kunst doesn't mean what it sounds like. For 2, it says, not only has the price of super chatting been doubled, but the streams have inflated to twice their usual length. This inflation is getting out of hand. Look, bro. Groceries is expensive and shit, man. I got a feed. I don't even want to make that joke. I'll never get to hear the end of it. Thank you. Anonymous for 5 says, is it even worth calling it Ralph streams pill streams? It seems like they're just his normal streams now. He's been on a bender for this was supposed to be sober spring Ralph. He put up the counter on day 1 and then didn't show it on day 2. And then while obviously fucked up on Xannies, he's like, I'm sober day 2. I just forgot to put it up. His idea of sober, by the way, is not drinking. He last time he went sober, he just smoked weed. And I think he's still doing Xannies this time. Zhang Yong fan for 20 says, I fucking love smoking cigarettes and you should too. Use this money to buy some. No, it'll make my teeth all dark and I'll stink. I'll be all oogly and stinky. I would lose weight though, which is pretty based. Koga Dante for 10 says, I'm not even sure why they would be prosecutable as false chargebacks. Ralph cancels negative super chats under the theory that they're non-delivery of service. The chargeback is warranted. That's absolutely correct. I 100% agree with you. Billy Evans for 2 says, YouTube link, please watch King Cobra JFS make a snail meat burrito. You don't have to watch it on stream, but I know you'll enjoy it. Okay, I won't watch it on stream. Maybe I'll save it for next stream and I'll watch that. That sounds fucking vile, though. How in the middle of Casper, Wyoming, the dead center of the country, the middle of the Badlands, one of the most desolate places on planet Earth, do you get access to snail meat? What do you call snail meat in French? Escargot. How do you get escargot in Wyoming? Maybe there's like giant snails slinking around in Casper that I don't know about, but that seems a little bit avant-garde. Mr. Man for 1090 says, P.S. the on-stream donation alerts died after the reboot. Oh, fuck. Really? Sorry. I thought I saw more messages. I apologize. The viewership may become less charitable if their funny sponsored word are not being broadcasted. Get that bag. Does it work? Hold up. I'll fuck with it after the stream. Thank you for letting me know though. I feel really bad. Sorry. Eat Dirt, Drink Bleach for 20 says, hey, just got in, was watching John Wick. Happy weekend, everyone. Press S to spit on animal abusers. Pizza day is on me, fam. Keep up the Emperor's work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've never seen John Wick, though. I can't comment. It's pronounced coos, not cuz. For 3 says, Ungazilig saved Western animation in the Sharty though. Dude, I don't know what that is. It's like a Dutch anime that's apparently really crazy. And well, you know my rate. You know my rate, coos. Jim Genet for 5 says, true American patriots like Baked Alaska are currently rotting in federal prison because of Trump's snakery. Say it with me, chat, justice for Yob. I mean, I can't feel bad for Yob, but he's already getting a sweet deal because he filmed the entire thing and got dozens of other people in trouble for it. So he can go fuck himself. 60 days. 60 days. I'm not even going to get to enjoy my time away. Baked Alaska's been gone. I think he's already halfway through his prison sentence. I don't even get to enjoy peace from Baked Alaska. That's how little his jail sentence is. If he has fewer days in Club Fed than I get on a visa when I travel to another country. It's like a short vacation. It's crazy. Shit, man, I would take 60 days in jail if I got some big payout for it. Fuck it. Anonymous for 2 says PPP be looking like Rocky Dennis from the movie Mask. That is a reference I do not get, but you heard it here first, folks. Rocky Dennis from the movie Mask. Rabbi Herschel Sneederman Blurg Blatt Sneed for 15 says, hello, is this Moe's Tavern? I'm calling for Sadie. Sadie inward. Is there a Sadie? Sadie inward? Is there a hard R in here? Thank you. Shamefoo for 2 says, it's a shamefoo display happens on the street and no one turns to gawk at it. Did it ever happen? No. Not unless you confess that it happened on the podcast. Something did happen. Dami Potato for 10 says, I have been listening to your streams back to back at my job and I made it through your entire Apple podcast feed. I may have a problem. Well, I'm glad that people find that my shitty podcast is entertaining. I'm very glad. Like I said many times, I never expected to have any level of success when I started this. Tyler, the creator for 2 says, fuck the Troons. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I agree. Anonymous for 5 says, I know you've addressed this before, but someone from a community that I'm a part of really doesn't like you. He says that you condone CP because of some audio that leaked of talking to Cog. It was on the channel Hot Discord Rejects. They seem like Troons. Are you trying to advertise this? Cog and I have never spoken in any way, shape, or form. Cog has hated the... If you knew anything about the forum, you know that Cog's dev wanted the Quickie forums to be made because he hated the people on the Quickie who were using it like a forum. Cog has never had a forum account, even on the Quickie forum. He tasked Marvin to host it to get people off the Quickie that he didn't like. And the PVCC, which has been around since before the Quickie forums, closed registrations because they hated the Quickie forum users so much. Cog, Zeg, and I have never had any kind of relationship or a conversation. Haramburger for 2 says, I bought delicious KFC chicken for a promo card last week, and it's been open beta this week. Giving you any kindness or a mercy was a mistake. Next week will be so frustrating and embarrassing for you, my neighbor. FYI, breast milk and rape does make games better. Did you get it? No, it doesn't. I'm sure that game sucks ass, dude. You know how bad the third one was? Paying for people to drink breast milk and rape so that he can have his shitty... That game is probably designed to run on like phones too, on mobile games, so they can gotcha you. You get what you fucking deserve, Haramburger. Anonymous for 2 says, have you seen that one predator catching video that everyone's reacting to where some Asian meth head was caught luring a 13-year-old and he went crazy and crashed his car? The predator catcher seemed unhinged as well. Dude, I don't even want to say this because they're so unhinged. Those people are dangerous. Like those little mini Vordraks who run their predator catching channels. Dynasty put out a post once that is very agreeable. The only reason that those people are tolerated is because they go after the lowest dredges of society. They go after pedophiles. If they were going after anything else, people would look at their psychotic, controlling, manipulative, abusive behavior as absolutely horrendous. But because they're just so happen to be going after pedophiles, it's like a safe outlet for their sadism. And it's like it's a really touchy topic because you point out somebody being a fucking monster to another human being, and you're like, because some of the shit they do, without giving specifics, it's really bad. And then you point that out and someone goes, but they're a pedophile. And it's like, yeah, sure, it's justifiable, I guess, because they're a pedophile. But don't act like that person is not getting like a sadistic pleasure off of doing that to somebody else. We allow it, we permit it, we tolerate this because they are pedophiles. But I recognize 2 dangerous people in this video footage, and I want nothing to do with either of them. And in some cases, like with Vordrak, he gets it in his head that somebody's like a pedophile, and he can justify anything, even when he's wrong. And that's what happens when you cut out due process and like delegate shit to vigilantes, because eventually they get too high on their own farts and they start doing crazy psychotic shit to like innocent people. We have a justice system for a reason, and they never cooperate with like police. They never do like a proper Chris Hansen sting where they have police ready to go. It's always like they report it after the confrontation. And so I steer clear of those people. I don't patronize their channel. I find them scary. Winston Fujimori for 5 says, Ghost Politics said that he's planning on becoming a VTuber since 60% of his audience are weebs. What would it take for you to become a VTuber? If you become one, would you collab with Pippa Hipkin? Absolutely not. The entire sentence is like a train wreck of undesirable things all clashed together. Chudbear for 3 says, hey Josh, sorry for derailing with this, but would you be willing to testify in court to Ethan Ralph spreading nude pictures of me and my husband and potentially ordering the hacking of my computer and website? Please let me know somehow. Have a great weekend. I have no certifiable testimony to provide. He didn't make a statement on my forum. He didn't make a statement to me. I can provide no useful witness testimony to certify whether Ralph did or did not do something. I might be willing to certify, like I can certify that a video from my forum is a copy of something from his show, you know what I mean? But I have no privileged information or witness testimony to give in regards to what actions Ralph did or did not do. If there is something, sure, I'd be happy to help, but I don't think that I have anything that would fall on me. Totally legit investment advice, bro. For 2 says, Josh, ever hear of a land bank? Land is the most inflation recession resistant asset. Josh, put all your money in land so the ghosts of the Bergendoffs will finally decide to crash the real estate bubble and I can afford a house at 20-year-old boomer prices. It's never going to happen. I will never be able to afford a house. I just have to make peace with it. That Milk for 20 says, hey Josh, can you play this retarded shit post for me? Thanks a lot. I love you. Okay, what is this?
You are Balenciaga, Harry.
What the fuck? This is scary.
You are Balenciaga, Harry.
Wait, was chat hidden? Sorry. Are these like AI generated videos of Harry Potter characters dressed in Balenciaga? Wow, that's terrifying.
After all, to the well-organized mind, Balenciaga is but the next great adventure.
That's scary. I don't like that. Thank you. Medicare Fembot for 50 says, remember Ralph has deemed it sober spring. It seems to be going well. I've never heard Ralph so clear and quick-witted. Yeah, I think he's already fucked up. But he's fucked up on Xanax anyways, and that's what's killing him. And he can't quit that. Hostel Gato for 5 says, did you hear about the feds trying to scrape the Fediverse? It's not hard to scrape the Fediverse. That's the fucking point. They send the messages out to anyone who subscribes to it. Is this message just going to be that they see government IPs in the Activity Pub network? Yeah, bro, they scrape everything. They scrape things that you think are private. They scrape your Discord. Riot Games records your voice chat in Valorant. They scrape that. You know, Amazon has an entire warehouse dedicated to the CIA. They scrape everything. Everything you say is scraped and recorded. And it may not be actioned immediately, but it's there. They have databases of writing and like they aggregate like forum posts and they associate writing styles. They machine learning writing styles to usernames to dig up, like to find aliases of people. Like if you write your posts under different aliases, the government records public posts, machine learns that writing style, and then based on the similarity of the fingerprints of that writing style, they can find your other aliases and tie them together and look into it for leads. They scrape everything. Mad Linus clip donator for 10 says, Josh, I've now paid you $20 for this clip. You missed the point. There was way more to that clip. Listen to the whole thing, you idiot. Okay, fine. Let's listen to the hard R clip again.
I mean, it's been kind of eye opening. I've just sort of randomly here and there picked up episodes of old shows that I hadn't watched in a long time from like the early 2000s, and just the casual the casual sort of gay humor, casual use of the hard R.
Oh, really?
It's jarring. Yeah, it's jarring now. And for
Casual use of hard R.
Yeah, absolutely. Like okay, it was an episode of American Dad, and it was just like, yeah, it wasn't for shock value. It was just like used.
Whoa.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then, because we didn't even, the term hard R didn't exist.
That guy's
we didn't think about it, right? And it's funny because to me that doesn't feel like that long ago, but to my kids,
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
what? No,
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
no,
I think
that's
so.
the N word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Oh. Okay, either
Hard
way.
R means ending
I understand.
the N-word
I
with a
understand.
hard R.
I understand what you mean. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, cool. So I'm glad that
I'm
we
freaking
cleared that
Neo
up.
over here, dude. We're dodging bullets. That's bad.
Okay,
The
yes.
guy was like having a puppy melt.
Right.
Thank you for that. Right, I forgot about the part where I said, yeah, I just used a cat. Yeah, no, actually.
That's what I was like. I was pretty surprised with American Dad, and then you were like, yeah, me too. I was like, whoa. Okay,
Yeah, no, you've
all
known
right.
me a long time.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
And yeah,
Never been a problem.
No.
Yeah.
Anywho.
You know how anti-racist I am with my
Breathe.
half
Everything's okay.
Cool. So
right.
The I've mentioned this before. I like my story is that I when I was a kid I hated Lisa Lampanelli because her whole shtick is that she's a fat white woman and she has sex with black men, and she goes off and she says like horrifically racist things, and then she says, "Just kidding, you know I love the dark meat, wink wink," and it's like she gets away with it because she has sex with them. And I remember when I was a kid and I saw this shit on like Comedy Central late at night, I thought, wow, she is just the worst comedian ever. And then I rewatched her stand up because I wanted to see, like, God, was that really that bad? I just remembered it being terrible. I want to see what's going on with that. And I rewatched it and I laughed my ass off. It was so like brash and like over the top racist at different points. And I'm like, she got away with shit that nobody could get away with. A black person could not get away with saying this in today's day. Like Lisa Lampanelli has been made retroactively funny by the erosion of comedy. And I mean, what he's talking about is right. Like, you watch stuff from the 2000s and you're like, holy shit, they're making fun of trannies. They would get lynched for that today. I miss it, bro. I miss it before the towers fell, bros. 90s kids will remember what it was like before the towers fell, bros. Thank you, Mad Linus clipped on there. The horse beater for 232 says, here's a free video of a man beating a horse. Wouldn't that be good? Wow. It's like a video edit, but still, that's pretty gruesome, man. I don't want to show that on stream because it is it looks like an animal being killed. Anonymous for 10 says, hey Josh, say hypothetically, if you ever see the leader of the USA, what would you do with the territories outside of the mainland, like Hawaii, American Samoa, Guam, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, etc.? Overall, what's your thoughts on them too? Well, I would reclaim the Panama Canal. I would make everything north of the Panama Canal and 10 miles south of the Panama Canal America. I would deport everyone that I did not like, that did not meet my specific qualifications, to Germany or the UK. And then I would build a giant choo-choo train from Anchorage all the way down the South Alaska Peninsula, down to New Washington, down to Los Angeles, which is now a clean, happy, prosperous city, down to the Yucatan, down to Panama, and then all the way back up on the East Coast side, up to Prince Edward Island. And it'll be a nice big choo-choo train, and I'll put the commerce on the choo-choo train. It'll be like a magnet, high-speed freight choo-choo train that makes the economy better. And this will be my country. It'll be very based. Thank you. Anonymous for 12 says, important anthropological discovery. And there is a tweet. Okay, let's check this out. There is a thought, a black woman, and she's explaining. Okay, I've seen this before. You want to give this thought attention? Fine. Here's the thought. She's saying how to season Spanish chicken, and she is now cleaning chicken with Ajax soap, which is not how you do that, because now your chicken will taste like soap. And then she puts Goya on it. That's the really important part. If you want to make anything that is like Puerto Rican style, just put Goya everything on that. I don't know what the fuck it is. Puerto Rico, someone back in my last tweet asked me or super chat asked what's your opinion on the colonies? Puerto Rico is effectively a company town owned by Goya, and everything that they have there is Goya owned. And for 2 says, or Pizza Time for 10 says, what are your favorite and least favorite boards and threads on the Kiwi farms? The cult cow threads all annoy the fuck out of me for different reasons. The entire off-topic political board is a huge pain in the ass constantly. Everyone gets their fucking feelings hurt there, and I have to moderate it. And I put moderators in charge of it, and then they hurt their feelings, and it's a never-ending problem. DSP and the other cult cows, they're annoying because I'll talk to them and I'll say this is not acceptable. This is law breaking. I'm not okay with this. And then they don't care. And they'll tell me to fuck off or that I'm troll shielding for DSP. And some guy was, and I hate the shit about featuring. If he doesn't feature this thread, that's proof that he's gut guarding for DSP. Fuck off. It's my website. I feature what I think is interesting to people. I don't feature what makes your fucking feelings feel good. Retard. Anna for 2 says, I'd like to comment or recommend Lupe Fiasco for hip hop music. He's up there with Andre 3000 in terms of uniqueness. And he hates dirty banker executives that fucked him over in the music industry. I think I've heard of Lupe Fiasco. Maybe it was a feature on something. I'm pretty sure I have one of his songs somewhere. Let me see if I recognize a song off the top of his list right now. Kick Push. I know this song.
Push, kick, push, coast. So come escape with me. Just a rebel looking for a place to be.
Very, very good vibe in music. That's the kind of song I like when I program. I like stuff that's not, it's there, it's present, and it keeps that part of your brain active, but it's not dominating your focus. It's a very, very nice song. It's Kick Push by Lupe Fiasco. He's pretty good. Fat Moron for 1090 says, thank you for the website and funny show Neighbor. 2 of my friends trooned out the last couple of years. 10 years ago, I was sympathetic towards troons because they seem pitiful, but they wouldn't stop ruining everything, and now I wish they'd just go away. I'm sorry to hear your loss. I too have lost friends to the brain disease. It's not fun. And the loss is mounting across the world. It's literally a worse. Someone once described HRT as the heroin of white inner city suburbs, and that basically sums it up. It really has been devastating for niche cultures on the internet. Mexico Y for 2 says, if you watched the TikTok hearing, what did you think of it? Did not watch it, so I have nothing to provide. I would be absolutely shocked if the U.S. blocked TikTok. I would be stunned, because that's so overt that they're just afraid of China. It's not even they don't care about user data. They don't care about protecting people's privacy. They just don't want it in China. It's fuck you. Susan Woa Quickie for 2 says, I'm not 100%, but I thought you could own smoothbore versions of firearms like AK-47 variants, neutered by American standards except shotguns, in some Slav countries. Then again, they probably don't have self-defense laws either. Formerly Susan Wojcicki. You can't own a gun in Serbia. There's a gun range where you can actually shoot a fully automatic AK-47 at a gun range, at targets and stuff. That's pretty fun. As far as owning a gun, it's pretty rigid. My landlord at one of my apartments was going through the process of getting a gun, and he says that the Serbian police will interview you, they'll look at your criminal record, they'll look at what you do online, and they'll interview your neighbors and ask your neighbors if there's any reason why you shouldn't have a gun. And they'll take notes and make a decision based off a series of interviews over weeks before you can own a firearm. It's pretty tough out there outside the U.S., man. Don't ever give up your gun rights in the U.S. because you'll never give them back. No country in the world has it except the U.S. Internet Best Friend for 218 says, I believe the guy who worked on Bash is black, but yeah, check Event Viewer or something. that lets you look at logs in Windows. I use Linux, so I forgot, but it could be either software or hardware, more likely old. It's not old hardware. It's probably a connection issue. At least I hope so. So we'll find out. I think it actually started, now that I think about it, it started when I added more RAM. So first thing I'm going to do is reseed all the RAM and make sure that it's in there good, because I really hope it's just that. That would make sense too. Cold for 5 says, we know your rate for Japanese anime, but what about Western indie TV shows? I highly recommend The Booth at the end for a Gumroad review. Probably my favorite Western show. Would be willing to go as high as $50. Sorry, I don't make much. I'll look at it. The IMDb page. If it interests me, maybe I'll watch it. The Booth at the end. Never even heard of that. Thank you, though. Spasticus Autisticus for $100 says for $2. It's written that like he actually sent $100, not $2. Anyways, he says, tell us a joke, Josh. Trans rights. for $100, I mean $2. That's what you get. Phil T. Collards for 2 says the hashtag should work. I must have mistyped it. This is what game devs look like. Okay, one more try. Nope. I get an error. Something went wrong. Sorry, Charlie. Don't mean to disappoint. It doesn't matter what page I'm on. It just doesn't work. And I can definitely click around and like open trends. I just can't do that specific trend. If I put in this is what game did look like, it shows me a black page. Sucks. Okay. Do Odyssey. Nothing on Rumble. One super chat on the Odyssey. I think that's the dot guy. And he just tips $10 to say pizza emoji. Thank you. I appreciate it. I agree. I'm suddenly very hungry. I feel very exhausted. I haven't read all this shit. Thank you for listening. I have that special song picked out. I will see you guys next Friday, which will be the last Friday of March. And yeah, take it easy. Let me cancel shill mode. And bye-bye. 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 There it is. Bye-bye.
Tonight my head is bowed in sorrow. I can't keep the tears from my eyes. My son calls another man daddy. The right to his love I've been denied. My son calls another man daddy. He'll never know my name nor my face. God only knows how it hurts me for another to be in my place. Each night I laid there in prison, I pictured a future so bright. For he was the one ray of sunshine that showed through the darkest of night. Today his mother shares a new love. She just couldn't stand my disgrace. My son calls another man daddy and longs for the love he can't replace. My son calls another man daddy. He'll never know my name nor my face. God only knows how it hurts me for another to be in my place.